Yeah, Harry Nile. Yeah, I hear him. Right. I'm out the door. All right, let's see. Okay. Got my flashlight, whistle, nightstick, and my helmet.
On the day after Pearl Harbor, Harry tried to enlist in the Army, but was classified 4F, physically unfit because of flat feet. So he volunteered as an air raid warden in his neighborhood, the Boyle Heights district of East Los Angeles. Now it's early in the morning of the 80th day of war with Japan, Wednesday, February 25th, 1942. Time 2:21 a.m. And air raid sirens signaled the start of a blackout. Harry's job is to enforce blackout.
Jeez, look at all the searchlights. Well, they've spotted something up there. Hey, you in the car! Pull over and turn your headlights off! Might as well save my breath. Well, neighborhood's dark. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody just turned on a light in that house. I didn't think anybody was living there anymore. Air raid warden, please turn that light off. Hello in there. This is a blackout. Turn off that light. That guy must be stone deaf. It isn't even locked. Look, if you don't turn that light off, I'm coming in. Hello? Air raid warden. Hey, in the bedroom. We're in a blackout. Turn that light off. Come on, turn off the light right now or I'm coming in. Holy cow. Anti-aircraft gun down on the flat. Okay, I'm coming in. All right. Okay, where are you? What's this on the bed springs? Sleeping bag. And it's warm.
The Adventures of Harry Nile.
None of it seemed real. The city in total darkness, searchlight beams meeting high in the air, then anti-aircraft fire and shells burst in the sky where the beams met. War had come to Los Angeles, and we weren't ready. Down here in my neighborhood, there were a bunch of suddenly empty houses. I'd known some of the families who used to live in them. They were Nisei, Americans of Japanese ancestry. And then almost overnight, they were gone, taking only what they could carry with them, moved into relocation camps in the desert. And like I said, starting back on December the 7th, nothing has seemed real. And it didn't get any realer when dawn came the morning after the blackout. It was 7:30 in the morning when the all-clear signal finally sounded. L.A. is coming back to life, and I'm hungry for some food and some news. So, on my way to my usual breakfast at Tomaine Tommy's, I turned on the car radio.
After a 5-hour red alert due to an apparent air raid over the Los Angeles area, unconfirmed reports say that at least one aircraft was shot down. The wreckage reportedly fell onto a street in Hollywood, but there is...
The Army has not made any official announcement as to what air defense cannons...
Possibility that the debris that fell during the blackout wasn't an enemy airplane, but pieces of exploded American...
Oh, here he is now. Morning, Harry.
Hi, Marvin.
I wasn't sure you were going to show up, so we already started. Some night, huh? Were you out playing air raid warden?
Yeah. Any coffee in that pot?
Here you go. Harry, this is an old friend of mine, Judge Ed Turley. Judge, this is Harry Nile, the private detective I told you about.
It's a pleasure, Harry. I'm Ed Turley.
Yeah, glad to meet you.
Ed and I go way back.
All right.
He helped me pass my bar exam. Couldn't have done it without him.
Just a bit of tutoring, that's all. Well, tell me, Harry, did you get Boyle Heights all blacked out?
Yeah, except for one house. Just as I was walking past it, somebody turned a light on. So I went up and knocked on the front door and yelled. Finally, I actually had to go in the place to get it turned off.
How'd you get inside?
Well, the door wasn't locked. But I don't know whether I had the right to do it, but something had to be done.
You announced who you were before you went in?
Oh, sure. I blew my police whistle, I pounded on the front door, I hollered, "Air raid warden, turn off that light," and then I warned him I was going to have to come in.
Well, under the circumstances, you were perfectly justified to enter the house. Don't you agree, Marvin?
Oh, yeah, perfectly justified. What'd the guy say to you when you walked in?
Well, you see, that's the thing. There was no one in there. But somebody had to be there to turn that bedroom light on. And whoever it was had been sleeping in a sleeping bag on the bed springs.
Ah, that's interesting. And you don't know the name of the people living there?
Well, nobody's supposed to be living there now. The family that was sent to a relocation camp last month. But I hear they still own the house.
Oh? One of them?
There used to be quite a few Nisei in Boyle Heights.
Are you ready to order, sir?
Oh, yeah, I'll have the number 5 with the hash browns.
All right. I'll be back with some fresh coffee.
So about the air raid, what do you think, Harry? Were there planes up there last night or not?
Well, there was something up there, and whatever it was up there for a long time.
Yeah, and airplanes can't fly that slow and stay in the air. This thing looked like it was just floating across the sky like a blimp. Ed, you've always got the inside skinny on everything. What do you think it was?
Well, I'm afraid they'll never be able to identify what it was.
And why's that?
Because last night's air raid was a fake.
Come again?
A fake from beginning to end.
Are you kidding?
Think about it. Were any bombs dropped? Did any of our pursuit planes go up to intercept them?
Well, then what were our anti-aircraft guns shooting at?
Nothing.
Well, I watched the whole thing from my field glasses, and there was something up there.
Uh-huh. Well, that just speaks to how well this whole thing was planned.
Planned?
Sure. Planned in Japan.
No. Planned right here in the USA.
What do you mean?
Harry, take a look at the big picture. How long do you think England could hold out against Hitler without our help? He's already taken Europe, and if he defeats England, what do you think he'll do next? He'll invade North America.
But what's that got to do with anything?
Now,
I don't...
hear me out. Now, everybody knows Roosevelt and Churchill are close friends, am I right? Churchill came to Washington to ask for our help, so Roosevelt invented the Lend-Lease program to help supply England. But he couldn't declare war on Germany without provocation. If we went to war with Germany, we'd have to also fight Japan. He needed a valid reason to go to war against the Axis, and he got his reason on December the 7th.
Okay, but that doesn't explain last night.
Think about this. Suppose FDR were to order a Hollywood movie studio to stage a fake attack on Los Angeles.
Are you serious?
No movie studio would go along with that.
Are you sure, Marvin? Jack Warner's a major in the Air Corps now, and he runs a little enterprise called Warner Brothers Pictures.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that...
Just hear me out. So, let's say Civil Defense orders a blackout. They turn on some searchlights like in the war movies. Then all you need is for one anti-aircraft gunner to start shooting where the searchlights converge, like they did last night, and that's all it takes. Every other anti-aircraft emplacement in L.A. cuts loose, even if they really can't see what they're shooting at. And presto, you've got an enemy air raid, or reasonable facsimile. And after a few more nights like last night, the public will be willing to put up with almost anything the government wants to do to protect us. Raise our taxes, ration our food and gas, take away our freedoms one at a time, and assume more and more power, all for the sake of security. And we wind up with our very own totalitarian government.
And what's Congress doing in the meantime?
Well, let's just say, how would you like to be the congressman who votes against these security measures in a time of war?
All right, now, you tell me how they faked 2,000 dead sailors and sank all those battleships at Pearl Harbor.
No, Harry, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Pearl Harbor didn't happen. We all know it did happen. But I am saying that Roosevelt knew it was going to happen and didn't do anything to prevent it, because he needed to get us into the war. Well, I've said more than enough for one morning. It's good to meet you, Harry. Probably be phoning you later about a job I need someone to do. Oh, and put your money away, fellas. Breakfast on me.
After listening to Ed Turley, I just wanted to go back home, climb into bed, and forget everything he'd said. But I'd had too much coffee to get back to sleep. And then... Brother. Who is it?
Marvin Asher.
All right, just a minute, Marvin.
Oh, I'm sorry, Harry. Were you asleep?
Well, such luck. Come on in.
First, I want to apologize for Ed. I didn't know he was going to take off on FDR like he did, and I could tell you got a little upset. I mean, I don't know what you voted, but I'm a Roosevelt man straight down the line myself. I voted for him all 3 terms. Anyway, the main reason I wanted Ed to meet you was he's looking for a private eye to do some work for him.
What kind of work?
Well, he didn't exactly spell it out, but I think it has to do with those, what do you call them, nieces?
Nice.
Yeah, those. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you Ed's got some money to spend. I've represented him in a couple of cases, and expense was no object. By the way, how's it going with you?
Well, I could use some work.
That's what I thought.
I didn't know it showed.
No. Always glad to toss a little business your way. Well, I hope you work something out with the judge.
Yeah, but by the way, where does he preside?
He was in Pomona the last I heard. Listen, I gotta go. You get some sleep now. I'll be in touch.
Yeah. Thanks for the business, Marvin. I think. I drive over to my little office in the loft above Manny Fine's tailor shop. There's 5 window envelopes on my desk, and it isn't even the end of the month yet. Let's see, phone bill, gas bill, something from the Red Cross, notice from my landlord saying my house rent is going up. Uh-oh, and an envelope from the Internal Revenue Service. Yeah, they want to have a chat with me about my 1940 return. Harry Nile Investigations?
Is this Harry?
Yeah, it is. Who's this?
Judge Turley. Is this a good time, or are you busy?
No, I'm not busy at the moment, Judge.
Good. Then I'll be there in 10 minutes.
Well, wait a minute. Is there someplace I could meet you?
No, your place will be just fine. I want to get my trousers pressed while we talk.
Your tailor friend was very understanding.
Yeah. I don't think Manny usually presses clothes unless they belong to somebody who's a customer of his.
Well, I took care of him. I hope you don't mind my sitting here in my drawers, Harry. He said he'd get right on it.
No, I don't get a lot of traffic through here, being in an attic.
Well, then let's get down to business. Marvin tells me you're pretty well acquainted around Boyle Heights.
Well, I've lived there a little over a year.
Get to know some of your neighbors?
Sure, a few.
Including some of the Oriental persuasion?
Yeah, there's a lot of them in the Heights.
But not as many now as there used to be, are there?
Well, not after the Nice were expelled.
Relocated is the correct term.
Yeah, right. It must make him feel a lot better to be relocated than expelled.
I sense a bit of a resentment here. Oh, you're not alone, Harry. The war is hard on all of us. Hard on those whose only crime is their race. Hard on the rest of us, not knowing whom we can trust. But let's get down to brass tacks. There are, according to the Army's updated list, over 120,000 persons of Japanese ancestry living on the West Coast.
That many?
According to the 1940 census, around 2/3 of the adults work in agriculture, truck farms and the like. They're a thrifty lot, and hard-working by any measure, working toward the American dream, home ownership and college education for their kids. And more than a few of them are sending money back to Japan so their relatives could emigrate here too. That is, until Pearl Harbor. But I don't blame President Roosevelt for signing Executive Order 9066. If we need to keep an eye on Japanese Americans, what better way than to round them up and put them in camps?
And it doesn't bother you that these are American citizens?
Now, I'm not saying I totally agree with 9066. It was thrown together at the last minute, like those tar paper barracks where we sent them to live. And nobody says it's perfect, but every cloud has a silver lining. And in this case, the silver is dollars.
Dollars for who?
For those who are far-sighted enough to take advantage of the situation. You see, I buy distressed property, and I need a representative in every neighborhood where there are vacant Japanese houses available.
I get it. You buy up the houses the Nisei families had to leave.
Their houses, their cars, even their furniture. Whatever assets they left behind.
Uh-huh. You ever feel like you're taking advantage of them?
On the contrary. Nobody knows how long this war will last or how long these people will be living in camps. But one thing is certain. They all need money to live, and they have no way to earn it. So in reality, I'm helping them survive. But on the other hand, I'll be providing homes for some of the thousands of defense workers flooding into California. So you see, everybody benefits.
So what do you need me to do?
I need someone to manage these properties, to keep intruders out, like this fellow you caught during the blackout last night.
Only I didn't catch you.
And to keep vandals from damaging the houses. Now, I have a list of Japanese houses in Boyle Heights and the mailing addresses of their owners. Guard this with your life, Harry, because I don't have an exclusive on these places, and there are a lot of opportunists out there. Now, about your fee.
Hold it a minute, Judge. I don't think I'm your man.
Huh?
I'm a detective, not what'd you call it, a property manager?
But you're ideal for the job, Harry. You're just what I'm looking for. You know how to handle people. You're diligent. You've got spunk. And you're familiar with the Boyle Heights neighborhood. Now, I'm willing to put you on a retainer and give you a 5% commission. And you can still keep your detective business. And what do you say?
The trousers are pressed.
Go get your pants on, Judge, and let me think about it. But I don't need to think about it. I didn't like the sound of the job or the sound of the judge. In fact, I wanted him out of my office so I could fumigate. And finally he left, shaking his big bald head in regret when I turned down his offer. Then I took out my checkbook and began trying to pay the bills, and I began to feel a little regret myself. I was practically broke. But just after I filled my fountain pen to write the last check, I heard steps on the stairs up to my office.
Mr. Harry Nile?
Yeah, who wants to know?
We're from the U.S. government. We'd like a few minutes of your time.
I gave at the office.
We need to talk with you, Mr. Nile.
Okay, come on in.
Mr. Nile, I'm Special Agent Brandt, and this is Agent McClellan. We're from the FBI.
Ah, I see. So you are. Well, have a seat, gentlemen. What can I do for you?
You live in the district called Boyle Heights?
That's right.
During the blackout last night, were you outside?
Yeah, I'm an air raid warden.
We understand that you entered a residence on Breed Street, where a light had been left on.
Not left on. It just went on as I walked past the house. I yelled and hammered at the door, but nobody answered. Tried the front door, and it was unlocked, so I went in, making all the noise I could.
We're not here about that.
No. What we want to know is what happened afterward.
Well, I went in the room where the light was on, and I turned it off. But there was no sign of anyone in the whole house. I checked. I knew the place had been left vacant, and no one was supposed to be inside.
So you saw and heard nothing unusual?
No. Except, like I thought at the time, lights don't go on by themselves.
Do you know the address?
No, but it's a block from some kind of big school or church or something. That's all I can tell you.
That would be the Breed Street Shul, a Jewish synagogue. We'd like to drive you to Breed Street so you could point out the house to us.
Right now?
If that's convenient.
That's the house.
You're absolutely sure? A lot of these houses look similar.
No, this is it.
And you looked all through the house?
That's right. It's only a 5-room place.
Well, you've been very helpful, Mr. Nile.
You're not going to go inside?
No. As we said, we just needed to verify the address. All right, Mac. Let's take Mr. Nile back to his office.
On the way back downtown, there wasn't much conversation. The FBI guys hardly spoke to each other, but just sat there looking out the windshield as McClellan drove. I sat in the back seat trying to guess why the feds were interested in this little experience of mine, but when I came right out and asked them, Brandt turned and looked back at me for the first time.
It's nothing to concern yourself over, Mr. Nile. If I were you, I'd just forget about it.
Well, you're the FBI. If I were you, I'd forget about it is another way of saying back off and don't get in our way. So as soon as I could, I locked the office and drove back to Boyle Heights. Twilight was darkening into night when I pulled up in front of the house on Breed Street. I got out and checked the front door, but this time it was locked. My 8-cell flashlight was at home, but I had my 2-cell job from my car, and as soon as I let myself into the living room, I switched it on. Something moved along the baseboard on the far wall, but it was gone by the time I put the light on it. Rats take over the minute people leave. First, I visited the bedroom where the light had been turned on the night before. This time the sleeping bag was gone. The closet was empty, not even a coat hanger. In the dim light, I could make out little white flecks on the floor. Except for that, everything was pretty tidy. I made the rounds of the other rooms. Everything looked as it had the night before, but there was more of the white stuff. At first, I thought it was some kind of powder, but it was sort of gritty to touch. And then, in the short hallway between the two bedrooms, I saw another rat. It seemed to materialize out of nowhere and scoot away. I could see where it went, but where did it come from? I played my flashlight along the baseboard molding until the disc of light came to a perfectly round hole in the floor at the foot of the wall. Above it, on the wall, was a bracket that held a narrow black chain that ran down through the hole. In old houses like this, you controlled the heat by a chain like this one that connected to a furnace in the cellar. Ah, the cellar. The one place I hadn't thought to look. I opened every door in the house, but none of them led downstairs, so I knew the cellar entry had to be from the outside. And sure enough, out back, a slanting door covered the steps down into the basement. There was an old padlock on the house, but it was just hanging there, unlocked. The door was made of tongue-and-groove planks, and it was plenty heavy to pull open. But the second I got it open, out of the dark, a half-naked figure came at me up from the cellar, knocking me aside, and as I lost my balance, I got a split-second impression of a skinny body, narrow face, and a stubble of black beard, and a mop of black hair. And then he was gone into the night. Well, there was no point in trying to chase the kid. I'm not built for speed. So I went down the steps and into the cellar where he'd been hiding. There was a space not much bigger than the old furnace itself, and lining the cement walls were shelves filled with cans and packages of food, books, magazines, and newspapers, most of them showing the rats had been at him. And then, beside a rolled-up sleeping bag, I spotted something that didn't belong there at all. Something that explained at least part of this little mystery. I thought about taking it with me to show the FBI agents, but then I realized that its owner would be coming back for it, because it was probably his most valuable possession.
Hey, Harry, good morning.
Morning to you, Marvin.
I wasn't sure you'd be showing up.
That's so? Why?
Well, I guess you turned down the job the judge offered you, and I thought you might be a little sore at me for getting the two of you together. Mind telling me why you didn't take the job?
Well, I hate to be hired by a man with no pants on.
What?
Forget it. Is the good magistrate going to be joining us for breakfast this morning?
I don't know. See, it seems like you're in a pretty good mood for a guy who just tossed away a good job.
Well, Marv, I think I found all the puzzle pieces, and now all I have to do is fit them together.
What are you talking about? What puzzle?
The light in the empty house and the reason the FBI is interested. By the way, it was you who called the feds, wasn't it?
What are you talking about? I didn't call anyone.
No? Well, then it must have been Turley. The judge was the only other person I told about it. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Here come Agents Brandt and McClellan, right on time.
Huh?
Good morning, gents. Nice of you to come. Pull up some chairs. Do you know my lawyer, Marvin Asher? Counselor, this is Agent Brandt, and this is Agent McClellan.
How you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Asher.
Good morning.
Look, I took the liberty of inviting the FBI to have breakfast with us.
We've already had breakfast.
Oh? Okay. They're here because I wanted to share some good news with them, and with you too, Marvin. Too bad the judge isn't here. He'd be especially interested.
You want to get on with it, Mr. Nile? We've got some other people to see.
Right. The light in the house on Breed Street was turned on by a 14-year-old kid named James Yoshimura. He woke up and turned on the light just as I happened to walk past the house.
Yoshimura. Isn't that a Japanese name?
Yeah. James is the son of the people who owned Yoshimura Nursery.
I thought all those nieces were evacuated.
Well, apparently, James had run away just after December 7th. He hid wherever he could, mostly in the Boyle Heights district, but he made a nest for himself in the cellar of his parents' house without their knowledge, so he claims. Anyway, after his folks were relocated, he moved back into the house.
But why didn't he keep that light off? Couldn't he hear the air raid sirens?
No, he can't hear anything. He's totally deaf and dumb, but he can feel sounds if they're loud enough, like the concussion from the anti-aircraft guns. When he felt that, he took off just moments before I walked in.
You know that for a fact?
Well, that's what he told me. He says he's never spoken.
Wait a minute. He told you?
Yeah, the only way he could. He wrote it in chalk on a little slate. I found his slate in the cellar, and it all began to make sense. That's how he communicates.
Yeah, but how did you talk to him?
Well, the same way. I used up a whole stick of chalk talking to him.
What else did he tell you?
Well, his parents had enrolled him in a school for the deaf, and he'd been living there when Pearl Harbor was attacked. Being the only Japanese student in the school, he got beaten up pretty often. At least that's what he said, so that's when he ran off. He kept up to date with the news by reading the headlines in the Times every morning on the front porch of a subscriber who sleeps late. He said he was scared to be seen, scared he'd get beaten up again, or worse, so he hid out.
Where is he now?
I really don't know.
Mr. Nile, you know it's a serious crime to withhold information on a person wanted on a federal warrant.
Huh? Is there a warrant out for him?
There will be if he doesn't turn himself in. So if you know where he is, tell us.
I still can't get over how you knew all this about this kid.
The white dust and brown rats, that's what gave it away. The white dust turned out to be chalk dust. It was all over the place. And it was a rat that came up out of the cellar that made me notice the one place I hadn't checked.
But why wasn't the kid scared of you?
Oh, he was. When I opened the door to the cellar, he took off like a streak. But after I found his slate and his box of chalk, I figured out he was deaf. I wrote a little note and put it on the cellar door where he'd see it when he came back.
What'd it say?
I'm not a cop. I'll help you. Come home. And I signed it and holed up in the house. About an hour later, he showed up.
Why did you let him go, Mr. Nile? You should have held him. He's breaking federal law.
I'm not a cop.
But you could have made a citizen's arrest.
Yeah, I could have. But I'm not sure how much damage a 14-year-old deaf mute could do to our war effort.
That's not up to you to judge, Mr. Nile. He belongs in a relocation center. You still have my card?
I think so.
We'll expect to hear from you if you see the Yoshimura boy again.
Right.
I'm serious. He needs to be locked up. For his own safety as much as anything else. Enjoy your breakfast, gentlemen.
We will. What are you having, Marvin?
My usual number 3 with orange juice.
Now, somehow, I feel like I deserve a steak this morning. I can't afford it, but I deserve it. A steak and eggs.
And hash browns.
Oh, well, if you insist.
Uh-oh.
What? What do you see?
Look out the window. Ed just drove up.
The judge? Yeah, the judge in a Cadillac 60 special. Nothing but the best for law and justice in Pomona.
You're going to want to join us for breakfast. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, I guess so. But only if he keeps his pants on.
You have heard War Comes to Harry Nile, Chapter 1, titled Ed, with Larry Albert as Harry and Jay Green as Marvin Asher, and featuring Russell Johnson as Judge Ed Turley. Also heard were Steve Manning and Joe Michaels. The script is by Jim French, who also directed and produced the program. For information about this and all other Jim French productions, go to harrynile.com on the web. This is Jay Green speaking. The Adventures of Harry Nile.
Mr. Nile! Mr. Harry Nile!
That's me.
Take a seat.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Miss Hasbrook. What is your draft status, Mr. Nile?
4F.
Please describe your disability.
I've got flat feet.
Do you wear spectacles?
Nope.
Do you have any hearing problems?
What say? I don't have any hearing problems.
Number of dependents?
Well, there's 3. Me, myself, and I.
Do you have any experience in template making?
No.
Or in sheet metal?
Afraid not.
You want to work with templates, but you have no experience with sheet metal?
I did play the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz.
Mr. Nile, if you are not serious about applying for a job here, please don't waste my time. There are many people who are anxious to help with the war effort.
I'm sorry, Miss Hasbrook.
Can you be reached at this number you wrote on your application?
Yes, ma'am. If they haven't taken my phone out by then.
It is January 1943, and America has been fighting World War II for 13 months. As his cases grow fewer and his bills mount higher, Harry is obliged to put his detective agency on the back burner and turn to defense work where there are plenty of jobs. Aircraft plants and shipyards are hiring, but they're on the far side of town from Harry's apartment in East Los Angeles. Gas is rationed, and his 34 Ford has a great thirst. So he answers a help-wanted notice from a defense plant in nearby Alhambra. Now, all he has to do is wait for his phone to ring. And about a week later...
Hello?
Yeah, who's this?
My name is William Grant with A1 Fabricators in Alhambra.
Oh, yeah. Well, hello, Mr. Grant.
Can you be here at the plant tomorrow morning at 11?
Come in, Mr. Nile. I've been looking at your application.
Yeah, Mr. Grant, before we get started, I gotta tell you, I don't know anything about making templates, but I'm a pretty fast learner.
That's fine. We can train you. Now, to begin with, are you acquainted with anyone who works here at A1?
No, I don't think so.
Is there any particular reason why you want to work here?
Yeah, location.
What?
Well, your factory is close enough to where I live that I figure I can just about make the drive on 3 gallons a week. You see, all I've got is an A sticker.
I see. I'm interested in your work with the Chicago Police Department. What did you do there?
I started out pounding the bricks.
Excuse me?
I walked a beat, and then I got assigned to internal affairs. They investigate reports of criminal activity in the ranks.
And did you find any?
Cops were taking payoffs, protection money. Yeah, I worked undercover for a few months getting evidence and turned in my report. But I don't see what this has to do with making templates.
Actually, nothing. So how did your undercover investigation turn out?
I got a lot of cops mad at me. I had evidence on a whole precinct that was crooked. Turned out everybody was on the take, top to bottom. A lot of heads were going to roll if they held a formal investigation, so they fired me instead.
And I see you got a draft deferment.
Yeah, because of my feet.
Is that the only reason the Army turned you down?
Yeah, so I tried the Navy and the Marines, and they didn't want me either. Like the guy says, I've been turned down so much, I feel like a bedspread.
Miss Hasbrook warned me that you were a character.
I've been called worse.
One more question, Mr. Nile. Do you want to serve your country, or are you just looking for a way to pay your bills?
I'd like to do both. Look, if I have to make templates, I'll learn how to make templates.
I don't want you to make templates. I'm interested in your experience in detective work. Our head of plant security, Jack Leland, died just before Christmas in a car wreck. I've had one of our technicians filling in on a temporary basis until I could hire a replacement. But frankly, without a full-time security man, we could lose our defense contracts, which would put us out of business. So, would you be interested in filling that position? And before you answer, I need to tell you, this job could entail some personal risk.
Police work usually does. What's the pay like?
$40 a week.
Sounds good to me. Do I start this afternoon or in the morning?
You're not in a hurry, are you?
Yeah, I'm double parked.
Well, first, we send your application to the FBI. When we get the go-ahead from them, you take a loyalty oath. Any problem with that?
Nope. How long will it take for the FBI to give their okay?
I really don't know. I'll call you when you've been cleared.
Just out of curiosity, this oath, how long is it supposed to be good for?
Until the end of the war, or the end of your life, whichever comes first.
I get my FBI clearance a couple of weeks later. I take the loyalty oath, get an ID badge, and report back to the plant. Now Mr. Grant is calling me Harry, and I'm calling him Mr. Grant. He's a big man, 6 feet tall, carrying some pork and trying to hide it with a 3-piece suit. He shows me my office. It's about the size of a closet. When he closes the door, he faces me. This I don't like. The room's too small and too hot, and I can smell his breath because he's talking right into my face.
Now, Harry, this company has a serious situation. What I'm going to tell you can never be discussed with anyone except me, understand?
Okay.
A1 Fabricators is known only as a template maker, but that's not all we do. In a separate factory behind this building we're in, we also make a secret device for the Army, and a few days before Leland's death, one of them was stolen. Leland was working on that when he had his accident. We've got a spy among us, Harry, and you've got to find him.
I never would have guessed it. This small-town metal shop is building secret weapons, and somebody who works here stole one? Well, naturally, I got questions for Grant. And the big one is, why isn't the FBI investigating this?
They are investigating it. But as I said, they hold the power of life or death over us, and they expect us to have our own security force working the case.
Security force? Meaning me?
We're a small company. One man is all we can afford. Now, come on, I'll show you the layout.
Turns out the company's in 3 different buildings. Out front of the offices, jammed into a remodeled bungalow. Just behind that is a cinder block building, and behind that is a newer prefab. The only way you'd know this hodgepodge is all one plant is the flagpole in front of the office flying the stars and stripes, with an E for Excellence banner flying below it. We go into the middle building where a couple of dozen people are working at big tables under fluorescent lights. There are men and women in their 50s, except for one kid who looks too young to be working at anything but his homework. As Grant walks me toward the back of the building, a few of them glance at me and then go back to their work. I ask Grant how the pieces of aluminum they're working on get turned into airplanes.
I like to answer that with a little motto I made up. We make the patterns that make the tools that make the parts that make the planes. Now, I want you to meet Ted Rockwell. He's the man I've had filling in as security chief. Rocky, let me interrupt you for a second.
Oh, sure, Bill.
This is Harry Nile. He's coming aboard to head up security.
Oh, you found someone. Good show. Glad to meet you, Harry. I guess Bill's told you all about our problems.
Yes, I filled him in. So, now you're back to doing one job.
Well, I didn't do anything, really. We've still got a bad guy in our midst, and that's not good for morale. Everybody's suspecting everybody else.
Rocky's been with us longer than any other employee still on the payroll.
Except for her ladyship, of course. She came with a lease, didn't she? You have met Miss Hasbrook, Harry?
Yeah, she was the first one I met around here.
Well, we'll let you get back to work.
It's great to meet you, Harry, and good luck.
Yeah, same here.
Rockwell may be old, but he's steady and dependable, and a good craftsman.
What about that kid working at the same table?
That's Alan Sarkowski. He's just out of high school, waiting to be called into the service. Good worker. All right, now I'm going to take you to the back building. In this building, whatever you see and hear, you never discuss with anyone except me, okay?
Okay. What's going on in there?
Have you ever heard of a proximity fuse?
I don't think so. What does it do?
It makes an anti-aircraft shell detonate just before it strikes its target.
It blows up before it hits anything?
Let's say you fire an ordinary anti-aircraft shell at an enemy plane. It won't explode unless it hits the plane, so a lot of shells are wasted. But if you fire a shell containing a proximity fuse, it will detonate when it gets just near the plane, so the fuse has to trigger the explosion at exactly the right moment.
Well, how does it do that?
The first models used acoustic sensing, then optical sensing, but then the British came up with something called the RF fuse. That's what we're making in that building, and that's what makes the proximity fuse work.
What's RF?
Stands for radio frequency. The fuse has a tiny radio transmitter and receiver with a battery and antenna built into it. It sends out a radio signal, and when the signal hits the target, it's detected by the receiver. Then when it gets close enough, it triggers the detonation. So it doesn't have to be a direct hit, even a near miss, and the enemy plane gets hit with shrapnel and a concussion wave that could knock it out of the sky. And it all happens in a fraction of a second.
All that is packed inside an anti-aircraft shell?
That's right. And the key component is called the ODAT bundle. ODAT stands for Oscillator Detector Amplifier Thyrotron. That's what tells the detonator when to touch off the charge, and that's what we build in this building.
And one of those ODATs was swiped?
Yes. And last week, we found a second one missing.
Holy smoke. Does the FBI know about that one?
Not yet. And they mustn't know about it until we can hand them the spy, or they'll shut us down.
Grant leads me into the back of the building. It's an air-conditioned building, and somewhere there's a phonograph playing. There are 4 assembly lines. At the far end of each line, people are assembling tiny metal parts and laying them out on a slow-moving belt. Others are installing vacuum tubes no bigger than peanuts and passing them down to workers who attach more parts. And what they're putting together winds up at the end of the assembly line, where women are wrapping them in packing material and fitting them into insulated boxes. I mentioned that they look more like fat fountain pens than ammunition.
No, these are just the ODAT units. The detonator and the explosive and nose cap are installed at another facility. Now, as you see here, as the finished fuses come off the line, we have packers and counters who tally the number of units going into each box. We also weigh every box after it's packed, but before it's sealed. We know what the full box should weigh. If a box turns out to be light, We stop the entire operation, unpack the container, and start looking for the missing unit.
And with all that, you still lost 2 of them? Tell me more about your security man who died.
Jack Leland. I hired him at the time we got the fuse contract. He was still developing evidence on the first missing fuse when he died in a car wreck.
What happened?
He ran off the road near San Dimas Canyon.
What was he doing there?
We don't know. The only thing in that canyon is a cement plant.
Where is San Dimas Canyon?
In the eastern part of the county, at the base of the foothills. There's not much out there.
Well, which police outfit investigated?
That would have been the sheriff's office.
Yeah, I was the first officer on the scene. There's a dirt road that goes from the highway out to the cement plant, and the car went off the road and rolled over. The driver was still in the car dead. Apparently been there all night.
Who reported it?
One of the cement truck drivers. He called in around 6:30 a.m., said he was driving a load out of the canyon and saw the car upside down below the road. I caught the call and headed out there, and it wasn't 5 minutes before this black Buick shows up. And I knew right away they were FBI. They said they were investigating the driver who was killed, and they just kind of took over. Wasn't anything I could do, so I just stood around and waited till the wrecker came.
Well, did you get a chance to check the wreck out before they showed up?
Oh, some. It was a real mess.
Well, what do you think caused it?
I couldn't tell you. His tires looked okay, and there wasn't any booze in the car, and I couldn't smell any on him. He could have fallen asleep, could have had a heart attack. Anybody's guess.
Well, there must have been an autopsy.
If there was, I never heard about it.
You know what happened to the wreck?
They hauled it into a wrecking yard. Couldn't tell you which one, but it's out in Claremont. I remember that.
Well, what make of car was it?
A Hudson Terraplane, 34 model.
A 34 Terraplane? Huh. I wonder why it drove such an old car.
Those old Terraplanes were fast as greased lightning. I've had to chase a few, and they can outrun my V8. Oh, it just came back to me. The name of the wrecker that hauled the car away was Jim's. Jim's Auto Wrecking.
Early the next morning, I make the long drive to Claremont. Jim's Auto Wrecking has just opened its gates for the day, and Jim leads me to what's left of the Terraplane. It's a mess, all right. Top's caved in, wheels, engine, lights are gone. But it's the interior I'm interested in. I spend half an hour digging into the upholstery, pulling up the floor mats, poking under the seats, which are covered with a grayish-white dust. But nothing else of interest. I'm actually glad. I've started to feel like Jack Leland was someone I'd like to have known. Finally, on my way back to Alhambra, I make a slight detour at San Dimas and drive down the dirt road into the canyon to find where the accident happened. At the far end of the road, some kind of big machine was making a loud grating noise and a cloud of white dust. I found a spot to turn around and headed back to Alhambra, and a warm welcome from Mr. Grant.
Harry, where have you been? Do you realize it's past noon? I expect you to be here by 8. Did you oversleep or what?
No, I've been down to Claremont to check on Leland's wrecked car, Mr. Grant.
Why'd you do that?
I was looking for evidence.
Evidence of what?
Well, the detective who was first on the scene couldn't see any obvious reason for the crash, and he didn't know if there'd been an autopsy, and in my book, that raises some questions.
Excuse me, Mr. Grant. Shouldn't you people be discussing this in your private office?
Yes, of course. You're right, Miss Hasbrook. Come along, Harry. Look, if you just asked me about the accident, I could have saved you the time and gasoline. I assume Leland was probably driving drunk.
He have a drinking problem?
It's one of those things you just don't talk about.
That's funny. The officer said there wasn't any sign that he'd been drinking.
Well, we'll probably never know.
Was he married?
He was divorced. Now, Harry, don't get sidetracked. You're not investigating a car accident. You're investigating espionage. Jack's death was a tragic loss, but life goes on, and we have a traitor to find and a war to win.
Thanks for reminding me of that. But, see, there's one other thing that puzzles me.
Can it wait? I haven't had my lunch.
Why would the FBI investigate a car wreck?
What are you talking about?
The deputy said the feds showed up at the accident and told him they were in charge.
Well, I told you the FBI was investigating the first theft, and they knew Leland was our security man, so probably when they learned he'd been killed, they stepped in to investigate.
Except it couldn't have happened that way. How did the FBI know Leland was dead before they got to the scene? The truck driver who found the wreck reported it to the sheriff's office, not the feds. So how would they have known about it?
Harry, stick to the problem at hand. Stop wasting your time and the company's money. I'm going to lunch. Going to lunch, Miss Hasbrook.
Miss Hasbrook, look, I'm sorry to bother you. You wouldn't have an address or phone number for Jack Leland's ex-wife, would you?
I think it's still in my files. I have Mr. Leland's home number before his divorce. Oh, but he moved from there more than 3 years ago.
Well, could you try that number anyway?
I doubt that she'd still be living there, but I'll try the number.
I appreciate it. I go back to that steam cabinet they call my office, and in a couple of minutes, Miss Hasbrook rings my phone and connects me with Mrs. Leland.
No, I don't mind talking about Jack. What do you want to know, Mr. Nile?
Was there an autopsy?
I don't know. We were divorced by the time he died.
Well, any of his relatives who might have gotten an autopsy report?
Jack's parents are dead, and all his relatives live in England, and we never had children, so I don't know who they'd send it to. Mr. Nile, may I ask why you want to know this?
Well, some people think he may have been drinking before the accident, and the autopsy would show it.
Drinking? Jack didn't drink. Oh, if we were dining with friends, he might have a glass of wine with his dinner just to be sociable. Jack's drink was tea. But alcohol? Not unless he'd changed completely since we were divorced.
You've been very kind, Mrs. Leland. I have just one more question. Did your husband ever talk to you about William Grant, the guy who runs A1 Fabricators?
Talk about him in what way?
Well, I mean, did they get along?
Why, I suppose they did. Why do you ask?
I'm just trying to get a fact or two.
Wait just a minute. Did Mr. Grant say that Jack was drunk when he had his accident?
No. I think he was just exploring all the possibilities.
Why, he knew Jack better than that. Why do you want to know these things about him, Mr. Nile?
Well, it's hard for me to step into his shoes, and I just need all I can find out about him and the way he worked. By the way, he didn't keep notes or a journal about his job, did he?
He left some notebooks in the apartment he was renting after our divorce, but that's been almost 4 years now, and his landlady just dropped them off the other day. I haven't looked through them. Someday I probably will.
Well, you've been a big help, Mrs. Leland. And if you should think of anything else that might help me to try to do his job, please call me here at A1. Before I can sit down and map out a plan, I need to find out about the autopsy. So I go back to the outer office and ask Miss Hasbrook to call the L.A. medical examiner for me.
The medical examiner? Well, why would you want to talk to him?
To see what caused Jack Leland's death.
Oh, didn't Mr. Grant warn you about getting sidetracked?
Yeah, but he said that in his office with the door closed. You must have excellent hearing, Miss Hasbrook.
Miss Hasbrook, call the police.
Young man, what is the matter?
I just went out to the parking lot and Mr. Rockwell's sitting in his car and he's dead.
Out in the parking lot is a black Packard Clippard, and slumped forward with his head on the steering wheel is Rocky Rockwell. Okay, step away from the car. I want to check his vitals.
You act like you're a doctor. Don't you think I can tell a dead body when I see one?
Be quiet a minute. That's what I thought. He's not dead, Alan. He's unconscious.
No lie? He's still alive?
Look, I'll tell you what you can do. You go get a cup of cold water. I think I saw a drinking fountain in the front office.
Yeah, okay. Be right back.
Mr. Rockwell? Mr. Rockwell, can you hear me? We've got help coming.
I don't need a doctor.
Miss Hasbrook's calling the police. Alan thought you were dead.
No. I don't want the police. I don't need a doctor. How long was I out?
I don't know. Has this happened to you before?
Sure. It's just a fainting spell. Listen, don't bother about this. I'm always just fine when I wake up. Maybe a little dizzy. Actually, I'm a little embarrassed.
Do you know what brings on these spells?
Not really. They're more of a nuisance than anything else. My doctor wants me to stop smoking. Says I've got a problem with my lungs. But I say I'm doing pretty well for a guy my age. Besides, I gave up cigarettes a long time ago. I only smoke cigars.
Well, you're lucky it didn't happen while you were driving.
How true.
Were you going to go somewhere?
Come again?
Well, I was wondering if you'd come out to your car to go someplace. I was going to offer to drive you.
No. Actually, I came out here to smoke my cigar. It's a little ritual of mine. Once a month, my tobacconist gets in a very limited shipment of Sumatran cigars, and he sells them individually only to registered customers. So when I get mine, I smoke it in my car with the windows rolled up so none of the heavenly aroma can escape. If I didn't know better, I'd almost call it a narcotic. Well, lucky I hadn't lit it yet when I left the party.
What party was that?
That's a saying you hear in the service. I mean, if somebody left the party, it means he passed out, usually from drunkenness. It's kind of like saying he bought the farm when a fellow from your squadron doesn't make it home from a mission. Amazing the things you could learn from an old war horse, isn't it?
Here's some water, Mr. Rockwell.
Thanks, Ellen. That hits the spot.
Do you feel any better now?
Oh, lots better, Alan. Nothing to worry about, and I appreciate the water. In fact, in view of your compassion and your contrition, I hereby authorize you to call me Rocky to my face and not just behind my back. Now, you go have your lunch and don't worry about me. I'll see you at the work table later and we'll carve up some aluminum together.
Well, okay, Rocky. I'm glad you feel better. Thanks a million.
What's this compassion and contrition?
I just like to play with words.
Well, you feel up to eating lunch?
Oh, no, I never eat while I'm smoking. It dulls the palate and corrupts the sinuses. Now, a glass of robust burgundy would be a fine compliment to this cigar. And I have a few bottles of an acceptable vintage in my cellar, but it doesn't travel well.
I don't get you.
Well, that particular vintage. I mean, once a bottle is opened, it should be consumed at once. In the middle of a workday, imagine what Miss Hasbrook, would do if she smelled the grape on my breath.
A policeman shows up, and we convince him he's not needed after all. It's well past 1 now, and before the afternoon slips away, I need to talk with the county coroner about whether they performed an autopsy on Jack Leland. But the closest I get is an assistant medical examiner, who assures me that Leland was autopsied, but the results aren't made available to just anyone. So I ask him to read what's on the death certificate, which is in the public record. I'm in the middle of the call when Grant walks into my cubbyhole.
Just what do you think you're doing?
I'm talking on the phone.
Talking to who?
Oh, didn't Miss Hasbrook tell you? I called the county coroner's office to find out about Leland's autopsy. Yeah, I'm still here, Doc. Yeah, have you got the death certificate? Good.
Harry.
Just read me what it says under cause of death.
Pete's sake.
Uh-huh. And that's it? Well, does it mention if he had alcohol in his body?
Harry, now look...
Shh, please. In the oral cavity and trachea, but not in the stomach or liver. Well, thank you. That's what I needed to know, Doctor. Oh, you're not a doctor? Well, you should be. Where did you get the idea that Leland was drunk, Mr. Grant?
I said he might have been drunk. Listen, Harry, his autopsy is none of your business.
It is if I'm going to find your spy.
Jack Leland was no more a spy than I am.
But maybe he found out who is the spy, and that's why his killer, or killers, ran him off the road and made sure he was dead, and then poured liquor down his throat. But you see, it never got into his stomach, according to the autopsy.
Fine. Now leave it alone. I don't want some backstreet Seamus investigating accident claims on my dime. I hired you to devote all your time to finding who took 2 top-secret weapons out of my company, and don't you forget it.
Backstreet Seamus? That puts a different angle on Mr. Grant. I move him up a notch on my list of suspects. Oh, yeah, I have a list. And everybody from the old lady who listens in on phone calls to the kid at the template table is on it. And speaking of Alan, that afternoon at the end of shift, I get in Tondaleo to drive home, and I notice a little Willie's coupe parked out by the gate to the lot. Alan Sarkowski is standing beside it. He and the car both look forlorn. You got car trouble, Alan?
No, I was waiting for you so I could talk to you, if you've got the time.
Sure. Say, I'm about starved. You want to have dinner somewhere, or are you going to go home?
No, I was going into Alhambra and grab a burger.
Okay, lead the way. Now, what's on your mind?
It's about Rocky, Mr. Rockwell.
Oh?
Well, we work at the same table, and we talk a lot. Anyway, once a month, Mr. Rockwell comes to work with a special cigar in a little aluminum tube. He'd show it off like it was made of gold or something. The rest of the month, he doesn't smoke anything.
Yeah, I know about the cigars.
All the other guys at the table kid him about it, because he makes such a big deal out of it. And last month, when he brought his cigar...
Eat your heart out, boys. This baby is the finest cigar ever made anywhere in the world. Why else would I pay $3 whole for it?
Because you're crazy?
Where do they come from?
Cuba?
Oh, Cuba? I wouldn't smoke one of their ropes. It was the last stogie on earth. This gentleman is from the east coast of Sumatra, entirely handmade. The leaves are so valuable they use them for money. And each grower has his own secret blend. Each crop is protected by armed guards and vicious dogs.
Are you going to light it or just talk about it?
Well, there's lunch, gentlemen. And today I'm going to give you all a treat. Today I am not going out to my car to smoke it. I'm going to smoke it right here. And you just wait until I blow some smoke your way. You'll think you've died and gone to heaven.
Well, anyway, he went and washed up, and so did the other guys. That left me alone at the table with his cigar.
So you smoked it?
Me? Are you kidding? I sat there looking at that ugly brown thing, and then I looked at the little cups of lacquer thinner we used to get the dye off the aluminum we make the templates out of, and I don't know what got into me. But I took his cigar and I dipped the end of it into the thinner.
You didn't.
The thinner evaporates in a second. You'd never know one end of the cigar has been soaked in it.
I get the picture.
And then they all came back from washing up and sat down and began to eat their lunches. All except for Mr. Rockwell. He sat down and picked up the cigar, and I could hardly wait for him to light it. Then all of a sudden, I wanted to stop him.
And now, gentlemen, the moment has arrived. Prepare to be wafted into nirvana.
And the cigar blazed up in his face.
Well, what? All right. Who's the comedian? Who did this? You think this is funny? Which one of you did it?
Come on, Rocky. You know we were all in the John together washing up.
Yeah. All of us except...
Alan Sarkowski.
I'm sorry, Mr. Rockwell. I don't know why I did it. Honest, I'm sorry.
Why, you miserable Pollock. This is the lowest, dirtiest trick in the book. All month long, I was looking forward to smoking this cigar. It cost me $3.
I'll pay you back your $3.
I don't want your lousy $3. I want you out of here. Get out of my sight.
It was the stupidest, dumbest thing I ever did. I got out of there as fast as I could, and I went into the restroom and hid. I hid out for the rest of the afternoon in one of the stalls. I was trying to get up the nerve to go back to work. The next day, I almost didn't show up, but I wrote him a letter apologizing again for my stupid stunt. And after that, nobody mentioned it again.
Why are you telling me about this, Alan? It's all water under the bridge.
Well, I'm sort of trying to clear everything up before I leave.
You're leaving?
I got my induction notice yesterday. I report to Fort MacArthur the end of this month.
How do you feel about that?
Look, my folks are immigrants from Poland. They came to this country with nothing. No money, no English, just my father's trade as a shoemaker. But they were able to work and make a decent living and be safe, while most of our relatives who stayed in the old country were killed or made into slaves by Hitler. So now I'll get a chance to help the country that saved my family. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, Alan. Makes all the sense in the world. Next day, I go over the records of every employee at A1. I'm looking for anyone who may have quit the company right after the first theft. The turnover was 0. So the spy is still working here. Then I get a break. Miss Hasbrook puts a call through to me. This is Harry Nile.
This is Dorothy Leland.
Mrs. Leland, how are you? How can I help you?
I'm fine, and I think maybe I can help you.
That so?
I told you about all of Jack's papers that came from the place he was renting?
Yeah, I remember.
Well, I began to look through them last night, and I don't know what to keep and what to throw away.
Would you like some help sorting them out?
That's what I was going to ask you. Would you be interested in seeing them?
Oh, you bet I would. When can I pick them up?
Well, I'd rather keep them here with me, but you'd be welcome to go through them here at my house.
Her address is on Aladdin Drive in San Gabriel, about 15 minutes from the plant. It's a pretty little cottage, and Dorothy Leland isn't too hard to look at either. She leads me out through French doors to a sunny walled patio where she's put up a card table. On the table is a box about half filled with notebooks, so I sit down and start through them while Mrs. Leland sits in a porch glider. Leland must have been a really organized guy, but a lot of his notes are in abbreviations, almost like code. It's slow going, trying to make out his tiny, cramped letters. The sun is warm, and the air is filled with the smell of honeysuckle and orange blossom. There's a lazy feeling to the whole atmosphere that makes it hard to concentrate on work. I've been at it for a while when Dorothy, we're on a first-name basis now, goes into the house and comes out with 2 glasses of iced tea. This time, she sits down opposite me at the table.
If you like it, there's more where this came from.
What?
The tea.
Oh.
There's more if you'd like it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Are you finding anything interesting?
Well, I can see that your husband was good at detail. That was never my long suit.
But are you finding what you're looking for?
I don't know exactly what I'm looking for. But employee names, that had to be a start. Names with some comment after them. There's a few things here I don't understand.
I'm going to come around the table. I can't read his writing upside down.
Now, here's a strange one.
May I see? T.R. boot. What's a T.R. boot?
You got me.
Could he have meant a footprint? He wrote these notes for his own use, and so they don't make a lot of sense to anyone else. But they were important to him, or he wouldn't have written them down. Harry, has something happened at the plant?
Yeah, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, of course, I shouldn't have asked. Maybe that explains something I came across last night. May I again?
Sure.
I dog-eared the page. Yes, here it is. Look, he's written TR again, then secret pocket with a question mark.
Well, that's interesting. Look, would you take some of these and look through them? I mean, you can read his writing better than I can.
If you'll tell me what to look for.
Names, dates, places, anything that says what he was working on.
Jack never discussed his work with me, but I'll give it a try.
Then we both are quiet for a while, working side by side. But occasionally I feel her glance at me for a split second and then look away, like she's sizing me up or something. One thing I'd sized up about her, she was either doing a good job covering up her sorrow about Jack's death, or whatever she'd felt about him had died a long time before he did. Then, all of a sudden, she puts her hand on my arm.
Harry, here's something more about boots.
What have you got?
It says, check as boot. But that other thing we found, about a secret pocket, how could you put a secret pocket in a boot? Oh, ye gods!
What? What's the matter?
Oh, how dumb of me. Jack was a naturalized American citizen, but he grew up in England, and he still used British terms for a lot of things. And in England, a boot is what they call the luggage compartment of a car, what we call a trunk.
She lets me take Leland's last notebook with me, and I drive back to the plant, making plans about how to pull off the next step without getting the boss involved. Because one thing I knew, William Grant was a guy who managed everything, every detail of everybody's job. And I was going to have to work fast and alone if I was going to find out who stole the fuses, how they got delivered, and who they were delivered to. And all of this without the feds finding out. Now, I no sooner sit down at my desk when Grant walks in, closing my door as he always does, cutting off the fresh air. Then he digs into his jacket pocket and hands me a little glass tube.
You recognize this?
Yeah, it looks like a light bulb out of a car's dashboard.
It's a Thyrotron tube, part of the ODAT bundle. Guess where I found it?
I don't know, where?
In a Christmas card addressed to Jack Leland with no return address. Came in this morning's mail.
Was the card signed?
No.
You still have it?
Of course, right here.
Well, it's postmarked Los Angeles, December 19th, 1942. It just got here now, a month late?
Not uncommon these days. Postal system is short-handed like everyone else.
It was mailed December 19th. When did Leland have his accident?
4 days before Christmas.
21st. And the first gadget was taken on or before December 10th.
That's right.
So, on or before December 10th, the guy who heisted it here at the plant hands it off to the enemy. But sometime before the 19th, the son of the rising sun sends it back in a Christmas card.
Addressed to Jack Leland.
Why would he do that? Unless the thyroid gizmo
The Thyrotron.
Yeah. Unless the thing was broken and the crook sent it back for a replacement, like we're Sears and Roebuck. Now the question is, why would he have sent it to the head of plant security?
Unless he was dealing with Leland in the first place. Good Lord. I've had my doubts about him. I know what we were paying him, but still, he bought an expensive English car and clothes.
Whoa. expensive car?
I don't remember what make it was. It was a big sedan with a steering wheel on the wrong side. I only saw it a few times.
He died in a 9-year-old aeroplane.
Well, that's not important now. Let me have the Thyrotron.
Sure. Can I have that Christmas card? This case is getting more involved by the minute. I drive back to Dorothy Leland's house and show her the card in the envelope.
Oh, I don't recognize the handwriting.
Well, that's okay. I've got another question. Did your husband own a British car?
Oh, yes. A 1936 Bentley. It's a classic. Would you like to see it? I got it as part of the divorce settlement. It's locked up in the garage.
I see. And after he gave you his Bentley, did he buy a terraplane?
A what? I don't know what that is.
Well, it's a car, they don't make them anymore. But that's what he was driving when he had his accident.
Really? No. Jack bought the Bentley just a year or so before we separated. He was passionate about it. In fact, it was his one passion.
And you drive it now?
Oh, no, I don't drive. I'm just keeping the car until I get a good offer for it.
My visit to Dorothy's garage excites me even more than being served iced tea in a perfumed patio by a flirtatious widow. But I pretend not to be interested in either the widow or her car, and I go back again to A1 Fabricators with a couple of questions in mind for the oldest of the A1 employees.
And why do you want the employee roster, Mr. Nile?
It's just part of my investigation, Miss Hasbrook.
Well, I keep it current and up to date. See that you don't damage it or mark on it.
I'll treat it like a page from the Bible. Well, it's not a very long roster, and it's complete with the employee names, addresses, phone numbers, and when they were hired. But all I'm interested in are initials. And there near the bottom of the second page is Rockwell's name. I'd only heard people call him Rocky, but now I find that his first name is Theodore. Theodore Rockwell. And he's the only TR on the payroll. So Leland was interested in checking the trunk of Rocky's car, but apparently didn't live long enough to do it. All right, I take on that assignment.
No cigars today, I'm afraid. I'm just out here to enjoy this California winter sun. Confidentially, how's the investigation going?
Slow. I got to meet Mrs. Leland, though.
Dorothy? Yeah, she's a nice person, isn't she? How's she doing since Jack's death?
She seems to be handling it okay. I got to look at that British limousine of hers. Never seen one like that before.
The Bentley? Yeah, they don't make them like that over here.
Yeah, I was noticing the trunk on that Bentley looks bigger than the one on your Packard Clipper. I mean, it's a big one.
Really? You ever seen the inside of a Clipper's trunk?
No.
Well, come on. I'm always happy to show off my pride and joy. I'm glad I didn't wait for a 1942 model. The 42s haven't any chrome, you know. I don't know why there's a shortage of chromium.
Oh, they're chrome plating all of our army tanks to blind the enemy.
Shh! That's a military secret. There you go. There's enough room in here to set up housekeeping. What are you looking for?
Well, I'm just looking at the way it's made and sniffing that brand new spare tire. Never been on the road, has it? That's worth a ton of red stamps. Where'd you buy the car, Rocky?
Oh, a little out-of-town dealer.
Yeah, well, which one?
Well, actually, he's in Nevada. He's not supposed to sell cars out of his territory. It's a factory rule, so I had to promise I'd never reveal who sold it to me.
Never heard of that rule.
Hey, you don't drive a Packard, old boy. Okay, visiting hours are over. Stop drooling on my tire. Did you see what you wanted to see? Or maybe I should ask, did you fail to find what you expected to see?
What does that mean?
Ah, come on, Harry. You've had me on your list ever since they hired you. Well, now maybe you can concentrate on some real suspects. Oh, I know what's going on. Remember, I was Leland's stand-in until you took the job away. No offense intended. And now you're supposed to say none taken.
Let me ask you something. While you were filling in as plant security chief, did you report everything to Grant?
Are you kidding? Grant would issue directions on how to tie my shoelaces. I told Grant just enough so he'd feel like he's pulling all the puppet strings.
Well, that clears Rockwell, but there's still the phrase in Leland's notebook, checked as boot. It doesn't make sense. until I treat the word as, not as a word, but as the initials A and S. Well, one name comes to mind right away, Alan Sarkowski. I begged Miss Hasbrook for one more look at the employee list, and I see that there are 2 other folks with those initials. In the next hour, I find that Anthony Smith doesn't drive to work. He takes the bus. And Alice Saunders' car is a Model A Ford Roadster with a rumble seat instead of a trunk. So, back to Alan Sarkowski and his beat-up Willys parked in the company lot. I approach it as nonchalantly as I know how and walk slowly around it. That's when I notice a fine gray powder stuck in every crevice and seam. I take a pinch of it between my thumb and forefinger, and I know where I've seen this before. Now a new idea starts rattling around in my head, but it's going to take a good 2 gallons of gas to test it, and Tondaleo's running on fumes after the round trips I've made to San Gabriel. So I go back into the plant and explain my problem to Alan.
Sure, you can borrow my car, but I don't know how much gas I've got. The gauge is busted.
Well, your Willys has only about half as many cylinders as my Ford V8, so your car ought to get twice the mileage mine gets.
Where is this place you have to go?
You ever heard of San Dimas?
No, where's that?
It's not very far this side of the San Bernardino County line.
Wow, that's quite a ways. Well, I guess it's all right. Here's the key. You think you'll be back before 5?
Oh, sure. I'll be back here before you quit work. Don't you worry. As soon as I get out of sight of the parking lot, I stop and see if I can open the trunk. It's not locked. Inside are a couple of bald tires, rusty tools, and an empty gas can. The most dangerous thing in there is a nest of spiders. Then I unscrew the gas cap and pounce on the car to make it bounce. Yeah, I hear sloshing, so I'm gambling that if I keep under the national speed limit of 35, I'll have enough. I drive slowly, giving me time to go over what I'm going to try once I get to the San Dimas cement plant. And finally, there's the turnoff to the dirt road that goes down into the canyon. About 1,000 yards ahead of me is a rock crusher, grinding big stones into little ones and sending up a cloud of white dust. Beyond that is a warehouse, a truck garage, and a trailer house they probably use for an office. But that's about as far as my plan takes me, because the trailer door opens and a man stands there, holding a rifle. The wind in the canyon is blowing white dust as he walks unsteadily toward the car. He gets right up to my window and peers in at me, sharing the stench of secondhand bourbon. Then he jerks away and points the rifle at my head.
Who are you and what do you want?
I just,
This is private property.
Yeah, I know. I came from A1 Fabricators in Alhambra.
Oh, yeah? You bring the thing?
Beg pardon?
You got the thing? The gadget. The first one was no good. They were supposed to bring a new one.
Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to deliver a new one to the head man. Is he here?
Get out of the car. Now stand still.
Hey!
Stand still and shut up.
Look, if you're gonna rob me, it won't be worth the effort.
I said shut up!
I saw it coming, but I couldn't duck fast enough before his rifle butt smashed into my left temple, and I was deaf and blind before I hit the dirt. The last thing I thought about was all that white dust I was going to inhale. The next thing I know, this guy is poking me in the ribs with the toe of his boot. I try to stand up. First I get on my hands and knees and then onto my feet. But the pain in my head's making me dizzy and I have to lean against the open car door.
All right, where is it?
Aren't you going to introduce yourself? I hate being cold-cocked by a stranger.
You want some more, huh? Mr. Private Investigator?
Oh, you found my wallet.
Let's have the gadget.
I didn't bring any gadget.
Then what'd you come out here for?
Okay. I know you sent Jack Leland a Christmas card with the broken gadget inside, but he never got it. By the time it was delivered, he was dead. But I guess you know all about that accident of his, don't you?
I didn't send him no Christmas card. The boss done that. Leland, he tried to pull a fast one. He gave us a bum gadget, and now we're waiting for a good one. When I seen that little Willys, I thought you was bringing us a good one. But I ain't gonna wait any longer. I got my orders. I took care of Leland, and I'm gonna take care of you.
Oh, man, if they find me killed the same way Leland was, the FBI will know it wasn't an accident.
Don't you worry none about that. No one's gonna find you. Now get marching. Over to the rock crusher.
A big dump truck filled with rocks stands beside the rock crusher. Conveyor belt with big buckets on it scoops up the rock and lifts it to the top of the crusher, where it spills down into the grinding machine. What comes out is gravel and dust. As I get closer to the monster, for the first time I see there's another man out here, standing in the truck bed with a shovel.
Hold it. We're going into the garage and wait till that dump truck's gone. And then you're gonna get what the rocks get. Ground up. Real good.
Well, looks like your fortune's made. Who's paying you for the stolen gadget, Japan or Germany?
I don't have to tell you nothing.
No, that's right, you don't. But you won't get paid until you deliver a working gadget, right?
That ain't my lookout. The boss does all the business.
All right, listen, before I get made into mincemeat, I'd like to know who is your boss. The owner of the cement company?
I ain't telling.
You won't tell me your name, and you won't tell me who you work for. Can you tell me who's going to win the war?
Don't make no never mind to me.
All right, Gabriel, go into the office and have a drink on me. You know where the bottle is.
Yes, sir, I do.
Oh, hi, Rocky. So this is your operation, this cement plant?
Yeah, this and a stone quarry up the canyon.
Well, then why do you work for nickels and dimes at a defense plant?
Because that puts me in a position to acquire samples of their work.
To sell to Japan?
A businessman has to know a market when he sees one. But let's trade information, Harry. I'll tell you mine, and you tell me yours. You go first.
No, you go first.
All right. Question. You didn't seem surprised to see me out here just now. How come?
Because of the trunk of your car.
My trunk was empty.
Not quite. I recognize that white dust. It was stuck to the rubber sealing strip around the trunk lid.
How'd you know it came from here?
Because I saw the same stuff in the wreck of Leland's car.
Clever of you and stupid of me to have overlooked it.
Okay, question. Is the kid in on this?
Alan? Why?
No. This time I ask and you answer.
All right. No, Alan's not part of it at all.
Oh? Then why did your thirsty friend recognize Alan's car when I drove in here? He told me he thought I was delivering a new gadget to replace the one that didn't work.
Gabe told you that, did he? You know, it's getting so hard to get reliable help these days. It's the war, you know. Well, say, while Gabriel is fortifying his courage in the office, why don't we just go out to the rock crusher and get it over with? Just you and me.
You got a gun. Why not just shoot me in here?
Because then Gabriel and I would have to lug your corpse out to the crusher and load it into one of the buckets, and I've got a bad back. But I'm a humane man, Harry. Once you're securely tied up in the bucket, I'll give you a choice. Kill you before you take your final ride, or let the machinery do it. Well, come on, Harry, why prolong the agony? The truck driver's gone, and we're alone. Except for the angel, Gabriel. Onward to eternity.
The distance from the truck garage to the rock crusher is all too short, and Rockwell motions me to get into the lowest conveyor bucket, like a fun ride at an amusement park. Gabriel shows up with a coil of rope, and the two of them wrap it around me and cinch it tight.
God, don't tie him to the bucket, you nitwit. Tie his arms and legs. We want him to fall into the grinder like the rocks do. Huh? You find something funny?
I just realized. Rocky isn't just your nickname, is it? It comes from your business, too. Oh, hey, don't make the ropes so tight. My hands are going numb.
That ain't all that's gonna go numb.
Loosen it a bit, Gabriel.
Why? He's gonna be ground meat in a minute and he won't feel nothing.
I don't believe in torture. Loosen his binds.
You're all heart, Rocky.
All right. Comfy in your bucket, Harry? Start the engine, Gabe.
Oh, yes, sir. Here she goes.
Bon voyage, Harry! And the conveyor chain jerks into motion, lifting the buckets up the steep grade to the open maw of the rock crusher. I try with everything I have to get loose from the ropes, but it's no use. The bucket just in front of me reaches the position, 40 feet in the air, where it cocks over to dump its load of rock down into the crusher. And I'm next. All my old prayers from childhood come to mind as the bucket reaches the top and begins to tip over. But then...
Harry, you all right?
I try to turn my head so I can see who's shouting at me, but the ropes won't let me.
Harry,
Can you hear me? It's Bill Grant. We'll get you down. Just hang on.
The conveyor belt doesn't move in reverse, so I have to sit there 40 feet in the air in a rock bucket until a ladder truck from the fire department arrives. But I get a great view of the police putting handcuffs on Rocky and Gabriel and tossing them into separate police cars. Fireman unties me and helps me down the ladder, and when I'm on the ground again, the boss looks like he's gonna hug me, but he doesn't.
You all right, Harry?
No, I hate high places. I get dizzy and my head swims. How did you find out where I was?
Alan came to me in a panic and told me where you were going and that you probably wouldn't be coming back. He also claimed that after he pulled that trick cigar stunt, he'd been recruited by Rockwell to act as a courier to deliver the proximity fuse out here where the enemy agent would pick it up. He said he felt obligated to go along with Rockwell.
Oh, brother.
He fooled us all, Harry. Did he tell you he got his draft notice he was going into the Army?
Yeah.
The FBI says he never even registered for the draft. Selective Service thought he was only 16. And did he give you his poor Polish immigrant story?
Yeah.
Not a word of truth in it. Miss Hasbrook checked his parents' background before you hired him. We were born and raised right here in California.
And I was buying it.
We all were. Now, do you have any way back to Alhambra?
Well, afraid not. Looks like the police are impounding the Willies, so I could use a ride.
You'll ride back with me.
Great.
Just do me a favor, Harry. Shake that white powder off your pants before you get in the car.
You have heard The Proximity Fuse, chapter number 2 of War Comes to Harry Nile. Larry Albert is Harry Nile. In tonight's production were Rick May, John Patrick Lowry, Dennis Bateman, Ellen McLean, Eric Deal, and yours truly, Jay Green. The script was written and directed by Jim French. Sound effects created by Frank Rosine and Curtis Takahashi, and our mixing engineer, Jason Shavey. The program was produced before a live audience at the Kirkland Performance Center.
One tube of Ipana toothpaste, one Sal Hepatica, one jar of unguentine, and a bottle of Lucky Tiger hair tonic. That'll fix you right up. Anything else, Mr. Nile? Stamps? Gum?
No, I think that'll do me for now.
All right. Well, that comes to $3.45.
All right. Here you go.
Out of 5. And $1.55 is your change. And thanks for coming in. Say, by the way, you drive a car, don't you?
Yeah.
Know what the wife heard the other day down where she works?
What's that?
Well, she heard that there's a way to get more miles per gallon. And guess how they do it?
I don't know. Is this a gag, Mr. Poole?
Oh, no. This is the straight dope, according to the fellow who was telling her about it. You know what it is? You put mothballs in your tank.
Mothballs in your gas tank?
Mothballs. Fellow told her he's getting 2-3 miles a gallon better than he used to. What do you think?
So the mothballs dissolve in the gasoline?
And you know what I think? I think it's the naphtha.
In the mothballs?
Right. Mothballs contain naphtha. And if I remember my chemistry, naphtha makes gas high octane.
Yeah, but what's it doing to the motor?
Well, personally, I wouldn't want to experiment with it. My Pontiac's got to see me through the war. Oh, hold on a minute. Poole's Pharmacy. Huh? How's that? Say that again? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, he is. You want to speak to him? Well, just 1 second. Somebody wants to talk to you. Sounds like a foreigner. You want to talk to him?
Well, that's funny. I didn't tell anybody I was going to stop off here.
You can take it here at the counter. It's all right.
Thanks. Hello.
Is that Mr. Harry Niletti?
Who's this?
Or should I say, Mr. Harry Nile?
Who is this, and what do you want?
We've never met, but I have a message for you.
From who?
A former client of yours. You may recall a certain retired U.S. Army major, decorated hero of the First World War. He was living in Beverly Hills in 1941 when his wife was murdered, and your evidence cleared him and caught the killer. He thinks highly of your abilities as a detective.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but for the duration, I'm not in the detective business.
Oh, yes, I understand. You're in charge of security for A1 fabricators. But it happens that you may have had an experience some years before that makes you important to the Allied cause.
Me?
Are you familiar with Compton Park?
Yeah, I drive by it every so often. Why?
If you'll meet me in front of the bandshell in 10 minutes' time, 6 o'clock, all will be explained. And, Mr. Nile, you'll be alone, of course.
Okay, sure. Only I didn't catch your name. Hello? Hello? Well, how do you like that?
It's June 1st, 1944. The Second World War wears on. America and her allies are fighting the Axis in Europe, Asia, and Africa, while American factory workers are a huge army in themselves, helping to win the war on the home front. For Harry Nile, being the one-man security force for a small sheet metal shop has been his contribution to the war effort. Oh, he buys war bonds and turns in his kitchen fat, waste paper, and tin cans to community drives, and he's an air raid warden. But he is uneasy as a civilian. Many thousands of American men his age are overseas, fighting and dying for their country. But Harry has been classified 4F, the military designation for physically unfit. Now, here is Chapter 3 in our series, War Comes to Harry Nile. This episode is titled D-Day -1.
They don't have band concerts or any other gatherings out here anymore. Big crowds were forbidden since Pearl Harbor when the government thought the West Coast might be attacked. So Compton Park is mostly weeds and dirt now. Kids like it. They come out here to play after school. There's somebody sitting on the edge of the old stage, puffing on a pipe. He stands up as I walk over to him. Tall, thin, dark hair, sharp features. He looks sort of familiar. Not like someone I knew, but more like somebody I'd seen, like in a movie.
Good evening, Mr. Nile. Thank you for coming. Shall we talk?
How about your name first?
Why not just call me Smithers?
Smithers. Okay. Mr. Smithers, I'd like to know how you know anything about me, and I would like to know how you knew I was at Poole's drugstore.
I simply followed you from your job, phoned from a pay booth across the street. Now, first you'll want to examine my credentials.
What's this? MI6?
It's a branch of His Majesty's Secret Service.
Like ROSS, huh?
Very similar. Now, I must tell you a few things before we proceed. You took a loyalty oath when you were hired at A1 Fabricators.
Yeah, so?
You understand that oath is still in effect?
Well, the oath I took said something about protecting the USA from enemies at home and abroad. It didn't say anything about England.
I believe England and America are still allies, are we not?
Okay, fine. Hey, look, there's something else I'd like to know. Why did the Major recommend me? I didn't think he even liked me.
He said you proved that he couldn't have murdered his wife and her paramour when you showed the police that the driver's seat of the car involved in the murder was left in the full forward position, so that a man as tall as the Major couldn't have driven it. But his wife's maid, a very short woman, could have. Of course, there could have been at least 3 other explanations if the maid hadn't confessed.
How can you say that if you weren't there?
By a simple assessment of the facts. But let us come to the matter at hand. May I call you Harry?
I don't care, sure.
Thank you. Now, think back to your years in Chicago. Does the name Mangini mean anything to you? Vittorio or Victor Mangini?
Yeah, I knew a kid named Victor Mangini in Chicago. Hey, wait a minute. How come you know I'm from Chicago? Oh, yeah. MI6, right.
What can you tell me about him?
Well, he was 7 or 8 years younger than me, but he tried to act older than he was. He liked to act important.
According to Mangini, when he was 21, he and his family moved back to Italy, just before Mussolini and Hitler formed the Rome-Berlin Axis.
What year would that have been? 1936? Yeah, that fits. I remember him coming over one day to say goodbye, but only like they were moving to a better neighborhood.
His story is he enlisted in the Italian army and trained as a pilot, but later he applied to fly for the Luftwaffe, but was never assigned to a combat squadron. 6 weeks ago, he was shot down as he entered British airspace over the Channel, flying an unarmed German training plane. His injuries were superficial. He claimed he stole the plane and was trying to defect with secret information for the Allies.
Yeah. That sounds like some story he'd dream up. Always the hero.
He claims he has detailed knowledge of a secret German superweapon they're ready to deploy the moment our invasion begins, that will annihilate our forces on the beaches before they can fire a shot.
You ask him why he wanted to defect?
He said he finally realized he had been working for the wrong side, that
in his heart, he never supported Mussolini or Hitler or the Nazi regime.
Yeah. What's he asking for this secret German plan?
Protection. He says he's afraid the Gestapo is systematically wiping out everyone with knowledge of this weapon except for the top brass. And now that he's in our hands, he is afraid Nazi agents in England will find him and assassinate him.
And you expect me to decide if he's telling the truth?
The man is lying. We can disregard him. But if you conclude that he is genuine, we'll investigate further. You can see why we can't afford to disregard his claims. Thousands of lives are on the line, and the clock is ticking.
And it all comes down to whether I knew the guy 10 years ago. Well, look, I'd like to help you, but I don't want all this on my shoulders. I mean, what if I'm wrong?
Harry, anything you can tell us will only be a piece of the puzzle we're trying to assemble on this man. But the weather of the Channel is improving. The invasion could be ordered at any time. So here's the program. If you agree to help us, we'll take a military flight to the East Coast, leaving early tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow?
And from there, we'll catch a ride on a new B-24 Liberator being ferried across to Britain.
How long would I be gone?
We'll get you back home as promptly as we can, but like everything else in these times, I'm afraid that will depend upon the war.
I've only had a couple hours sleep by the time Smithers and an American corporal picked me up at 3 the next morning. In the car, Smithers briefed me about what to expect, including the fact I'll be supplied with a flight suit, because there's no heat on board a B-24. We drive for quite a while to an airfield I didn't know existed, miles away from L.A. We pile aboard an Army transport plane along with some officers and civilians, and the eastern sky is just getting light as we take off. We fly all day, stopping to refuel somewhere in Nebraska, then on to Chicago, and finally, long after sunset, we reach Dorval Airport near Montreal, Canada. This is where I get my first close-up look at a B-24 bomber. From the twin 50 caliber machine guns in its nose to its massive twin tails, the plane looks heavy and deadly. Inside where the bomb racks are supposed to go, there are extra fuel tanks, and my assigned seat for the 2,000-mile flight is where the right-hand waist gunner will ride. Smithers gets the same position on the left side of the plane. Then we're off into the night sky, on our way first to Newfoundland and then the big hop across to Scotland. I'm tired enough to sleep in the uncomfortable seat, the numbing cold and the thundering noise, but one thought keeps me awake. Flat feet or not, at last, Harry Nile is in the war.
Welcome to Prestwick Airdrome, gentlemen. We weren't introduced. I'm Flight Lieutenant Connors. I was command pilot on this trip.
Yeah, sorry, I think I'm a little deaf. It sounded like you said...
Oh, it's the prolonged noise and change in air pressure. You'll be right as rain tomorrow.
Yeah, well, wait a minute. Did you say you were the...
Command pilot, that's right.
You were flying the plane?
Yes, along with my co-pilot, Susan Van Dyke. Oh, I apologize for the turbulence over the Firth of Clyde as we came in. Massive downdraft. Well, good luck. I've got to attend a debriefing. Regulations, you know.
I didn't know there were women pilots flying these things.
Well, not in combat, of course. Now, your quarters are in one of those Nizam huts over there. You want to shower and shave, and then we'll go over what we need you to find out before you meet with Mangini.
He's here? At the airport? You didn't waste any time, did you?
We haven't any to waste.
I keep hearing it. No time to waste. What they're talking about, of course, is the coming invasion. The whole world knows it's going to happen, but only one person will decide when or where. It's not Roosevelt, Churchill, or Stalin. Only General Eisenhower is going to make that final decision. And the Germans will do anything possible to make it fail. And that may include sending Mangini over here with a story about a secret superweapon. But is Mangini a fake or is he real? And how will I know? And what eats at me is, what if I'm wrong?
Now, you'll interrogate him in the next room. We'll be filming it with a sound camera. Then the film will go to headquarters in London for evaluating. You didn't know we were going to make you a cinema star, did you?
Well, thanks a lot. I'm not a bit nervous.
Mangini will be more nervous than you. This is his big moment, the whole reason he risked his life to fly here. Either to trick us or warn us. I'm sure he's very much aware that whatever happens, history will be made tonight.
Oh, that makes me feel a lot better.
No. Calm down, Harry. Remember, All we can expect you to give us is one piece of the puzzle. All right, gentlemen. Shall we proceed? All right, Harry. Go on in and sit at the microphone on the left. And remember to say the date. Are both microphones ready?
Ready and turned up, sir.
All right. Roll camera. Signal the door.
Harry Nile, I don't believe it.
Neither do I. Sit down. This is Sunday, June 4th, 1944.
It's really great to see you again, Harry. You still living in Chicago?
I'll ask the questions. Who are you?
Oh, come on, Harry. I'm Victor. Victor Mangini. We were pals, buddies.
When?
Back in Chicago in the 30s.
You moved from Chicago to Germany?
No, not at first. I and my family, we moved to Italy in 1936. One of my dad's older brothers who still lived in the old country, he sent us some money and invited us to move in with him at his home down in Calabria. So we did.
Why'd you join the Italian Air Corps?
Because I was nuts about aviation. Mussolini was conscripting everybody anyway.
Why did you switch to the German Air Corps?
Well, because they didn't let me fly very much in Italy, and the planes were mostly old and rickety. But then Italy and Germany signed a treaty, and the Luftwaffe had wonderful planes, the best in the world. And so I changed from being a lieutenant in the Italian flying service to being a sub-lieutenant in the Luftwaffe. But I didn't know then what I know now. I mean, about Hitler. And incidentally, forgive this Luftwaffe uniform. I didn't bring a change of clothes.
What's your real name?
Harry, don't do this to me. My name is Vittorio Mangini. I was born February the 4th, 1915, in Chicago, Illinois. My father's name was Carlo. My mother's name was Maria. I have 2 younger brothers.
You don't look like Victor Mangini.
What are you doing to me, Harry? You want them to kill me?
I'm just saying you don't look like the Victor Mangini I remember.
Well, you haven't seen me for 10 years. I was only 19 the last time we hung around together. Now I'm 28. I was sick for a while after we moved to Calabria, and I lost some hair. And I'm older. We're both older. You look different, too. People change.
What kind of work did your father do when you lived in Chicago?
He worked for a produce wholesaler. We were poor. That's why when my uncle wrote and invited us to move with him into Calabria, we thought it was a blessing from the Virgin Mary.
Sounds like you're still religious.
Oh, well, sure. But Germany's not like Italy, with a church on every corner. But I do the best I can.
You remember when we'd go to confession together sometimes?
Oh, yeah. Those were the good times, Harry. We were poor, but we had our faith, right?
I can't remember. Did you ever meet my folks?
Oh, sure. Wonderful people. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's right. I think my father worked on your family car once or twice.
Oh, that's right. He kept it rolling. He was a wonderful mechanic. Is he still working?
Oh, yeah, he's still working. In his barber shop, cutting hair. He wouldn't know a carburetor from a spark plug.
All right, Harry. That will be all for now. Guard, take the prisoner back to the compound.
Sir, come along.
Harry, anybody can get mixed up after 10 years. I knew your dad was a barber. I just got nervous. Harry, don't let him do this to me. You're making a big mistake.
Stop the camera.
Camera off.
Have a print made as soon as you can. Strike off 3 copies. Priority 1.
Will do, sir.
That guy is not Victor Mangini.
You're certain?
Absolutely. You heard how I tripped him up about my father.
Yes. Very clever of you. What else?
Well, first of all, Victor had a flatter nose and his ears stuck out more, and, the shape of his face was different.
What about his voice?
That I don't know. I don't remember exactly how Victor sounded. There's nothing special about his voice that I can remember.
Anything else?
The part about blessings from the Virgin Mary, that was something Victor would never say. He never went to church. We never went to confession together. Then he said, we were poor, but we had faith. Well, that's not Victor Mangini. He would never say that. He used to brag about his father being well off. And when I tripped him up about my dad being a car mechanic, yeah, my father never even drove a car, let alone worked on. He's been a barber all his life. Oh, yeah, and get this. Mangini's father was one of his customers.
So, there's no doubt in your mind that he's an imposter?
No doubt at all. This guy isn't Victor Mangini.
Very good. Good job. Thank you, Harry.
So, what happens now? Prisoner of war camp?
Not quite yet. We still need to let him tell us about Hitler's superweapon, but we have no intention of burdening you with that responsibility.
You don't put much stock in his secret weapon story, I guess.
At this point, we can rule out nothing. But I think I can tell you this wasn't the first rumor going round about a superweapon. We know the German defenses quite well, and we've studied hundreds of surveillance photographs and monitored hundreds of wireless messages, and we are 99% certain that this is propaganda. But one never knows. Now, I'll escort you back to your quarters. I'm sure you could use a good night's sleep.
The narrow cot and the rough army blanket they gave me feel good. So good that I was out like a light the minute I closed my eyes. Next thing I knew, there's music. And a big hangar filled with people. 100 men and women in uniform dancing. And there I stand in my grubby civilian suit, wrinkled and stained, and I know I don't belong here, and I'm going to be noticed any second, and I need to wash my hands and comb my hair.
Lucky Tiger Hair Tonic. That'll fix you right up.
No, it won't. I'm not in uniform. Everybody's in uniform.
Hello there, Yank. You look lost. Buy a girl a drink?
Well, Sure. Don't I know you?
I bet you say that to every girl who flies you across an ocean. Sorry about the turbulence of the Firth of Clyde. Wicked downdraft.
You were the pilot. I ought to remember your name.
Oh, what's the name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Is that Lucky Tiger you're wearing? Oh, all the Yanks wear it. We can't get it over here, the war, you know. Now, put your arm around me and hold my hand before the music ends.
But I can't dance.
Oh, of course you can dance. You're American, aren't you?
No, I mean, I'm married.
And I'm British. But we're still allies, aren't we?
But they're making a film of us, and they're going to strike off 3 copies, and I can't think of your name.
And I can't think of yours. But this is war, and we may not see each other again. Regulations, you know.
Don't say that.
Actually, I'm 99% certain we won't see each other again.
Don't say that.
But there's a super weapon, and I'm 99% certain.
Don't say that.
It caused a downdraft.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Harry,
no,
Harry,
say that. No,
Harry,
don't.
Are you all right?
Do I
Harry?
Say that? What?
Have you a dream?
Huh? Yeah, a dream. What time is it?
7:30. Better hurry if you want breakfast. Oh, we had a preliminary look at film.
What film? Oh, the film.
Yeah, he's a very good actor, very well rehearsed. But I think London will agree he's been planted.
So he goes to a prison camp?
That's not up to me, actually. I'm being assigned to another case starting Monday.
Well, when's the next bus back to Los Angeles?
I'll put in a request for travel orders today. No guarantee as to when you can catch a ride, of course. Most of the traffic is coming rather than going.
This is gonna sound funny, Smithers, but I'd like to talk to Mangini, or whoever he is, one more time.
Really? Why? We've completed our interrogation.
I don't know. I just feel like I oughta.
Not a good enough reason, I'm afraid.
All right, because one thing's been bothering me. When he walked into that room, he recognized me. He knew who I was. I mean, did somebody tell him Harry Nile from the old neighborhood was going to quiz him?
Not to my knowledge. But if you recall, he mentioned you as a reference, so he could have assumed we'd find you and fly you over here to identify you.
Yeah, but you see, that's another thing. Where'd he get my name in the first place? How would he know the stuff he knows about me?
The Germans are diligent, precise people. They are champions when it comes to research and details. Their captured documents are impressive in that way. So for his mission of deception, Herr Mangini, or whoever he is, would be thoroughly drilled. Having second thoughts, Harry?
No, Listen, when I was a cop, one of the biggest things I ever worried about was if I arrested the wrong guy, and he got sent up even though he was innocent.
Yes, I dare say every cop worries about that. All right, I'll see if we can't give you a few more minutes with him. But you'll have to be careful not to let him think you've changed your mind. You can't give him the upper hand.
Well, no cameras this time?
No, just you and me.
All right.
You're not getting out of prison until the war ends, so you might as well tell me what you came over here to do.
I've already done it.
But you failed.
Did I?
Well, you learned a lot about me, but not quite enough.
I could say the same about you.
All right. What was your mission?
To tell the Allies what's going to happen to them if they invade. And I've done it. By now, I expect Churchill and Montgomery and Eisenhower and Roosevelt all know about it.
So what's going to happen?
Harry, there will be the most terrible death toll since the flu epidemic of 1918. Not just the English in their homes and factories, but everyone living anywhere in the occupied lands. The Poles, the French, those poor bastards, as if we hadn't done enough to their country already. They'll be wiped out. The Americans and the British, of course, and a lot of Germans will be killed by the weapon, too. Oh, and the Belgians, and the Swiss, and the Low Countries.
Well, what is it? Some kind of poison gas?
No! The Fuhrer has a network of labs and factories buried hundreds of feet deep in the ground that have never been touched by your bombs. The weapons that are coming out of those factories will spread desolation on a scale undreamed of by man. And you, Harry, if only you can convince your leaders, can become the hero who will prevent Armageddon!
Dear family, you'll never guess where I am, and I can't tell you in this V-mail. I guess you're surprised to finally get a letter from me, and I can't say much more. But the way things seem to be going, I thought it was a good time to let all of you know that I love you and think about you. I'm okay, but I'm not in Los Angeles, and I may not get back there for quite a while, so this will have to do.
Ah, there you are, Harry. Writing a letter, eh?
Yeah. I guess I'm starting to feel like a homesick GI.
Well, be careful you don't say where you are or what you've been doing.
Don't worry.
I've got to catch a plane, so I just stopped in to say goodbye and thanks. It's been quite a pleasure to know you.
Well, the pleasure was mine, Smithers. Whatever your name really is. Say, is that pretty little gal who flew us over in the B-24 going to be your pilot?
I'm afraid not. Operations got word an hour ago. Lieutenant Connor's plane went down somewhere in the Firth of Clyde. They say there are wicked downdrafts over those waters. Well, I hope we meet again, Harry.
So, this'll have to do. Thinking of you all, Mom, Pop, Angie, Vinny, and Joey. Take care. Love, Harry. June 5th, 1944.
You have heard D-Day -1, Chapter 3 in a series of Harry Nile adventures titled War Comes to Harry Nile. Written and produced by Jim French. Larry Albert starred as Harry. Also on our cast,
John Patrick Lowry,
Richard Sanders,
Susan Connors.
The program was directed by Jim French. Sound effects were created by Frank Rosine and Curtis Takahashi, with engineering by Jason Shavey. For information on CDs and downloads of our productions, visit our website, harrynile.com. This program was taped before a live audience at the Kirkland Performance Center in Kirkland, Washington, and is copyrighted by Jim French Productions. This is Jay Green speaking. The Adventures of Harry Nile.
buy you another, Harry?
No, you go ahead, Mr. Grant. One beer's enough for me. I'm trying to lose some weight.
Yeah? Well, good luck. I've tried every diet in the book, and nothing works for me. It's like smoking. You ever smoke?
I used to.
Well, now they send all the good brands to the Army and Navy.
Well, that might be a good time to quit.
I don't want to quit. I'll still be a 2-pack a day man even when there's nothing to smoke but stable sweepings.
Hell, anyway, thanks for lunch.
I don't make a practice of socializing with my employees, but I wanted to get you away from the office and give you a chance to tell me what's on your mind.
I don't get you.
Sure you do. What's going on between you and the War Department?
I guess Miss Hasbrook's checking the incoming mail.
That's part of her job. So, what's going on, Harry?
Okay, it's no secret. I just didn't see any point in telling you about it until I heard something definite, that's all. They probably get these requests all the time.
Answer my question. Why are you writing to the War Department?
Hey, take it easy. I'm applying to get my deferment canceled so I can enlist in Army intelligence.
Seriously? You? In Army intelligence? I thought you were 4F.
That's right. But now they're reclassifying some guys, so I applied to get a new physical.
They won't take you. You're too old.
36.
You actually want to get in the war?
But the word is, when we invade Japan, they've got 1 million people armed with everything from machine guns to pitchforks waiting for us. And every one of them's willing to die for the Emperor.
Yeah? And are you willing to die for Harry Truman?
Well, they won't necessarily put me in the action. I could at least free up a soldier for combat. Look, I gotta do something.
You are doing something. You're in charge of security at a defense plant.
Oh, come on. I'm only here because you've got to show the government you've got a security officer, even if it's just me shuffling papers.
Oh, I get it. You're remembering that English girl who died flying a bomber for the RAF, so you want to be a hero, too.
That isn't...
Well, listen, Harry, don't confuse guilt with patriotism. And another thing, the Army isn't going to pay you anything close to the $160 a month you're getting working for me. You ever think of that?
But will they ever want me? Green eyes, I love you.
Most of Harry Nile's adventures between 1941 and 1945 haven't been told until now. What did the struggling private detective do when he had more expenses than income, few clients, and no savings? We continue the chronicle called War Comes to Harry Nile. Chapter 4, from the summer of 1945, is titled The Missing Pages.
The only line of work I was ever any good at was crime investigation. But after my first week at A1 Fabricators, when I rounded out a long-time employee who was selling military secrets, and life's been pretty dull. Since then, I haven't found any enemy spies or saboteurs, and the closest thing to crime was when we found one of our maintenance guys stealing tools for his home workshop. The rest of the time at A1, I'm filling out government report forms and hanging around the employees to pick up scuttlebutt. And there was always plenty of that.
I heard that they're going to fire all the women working in the war plants and give their jobs to returning GIs.
Hey, Harry, did you hear what happened down at Douglas Long Beach? This big black open car drove into the final assembly area with no warning, and who do you think was in the back seat?
President Roosevelt, and that was supposed to be a secret.
Oh, you heard.
Hey, a guy told me that they're going to take all those krauts in the camps in Idaho and give them American uniforms and put them in the first wave when we hit the beach in Japan.
Hey, did you hear? One of our sailors was injured when a jet shell exploded. And when they operated on him, to take out the shrapnel, one of the fragments turned out to be an old Ford hubcap.
Bill Grant had a table model radio in his office so he could follow the war news. And after the workers asked him several times, he finally agreed to pipe it into the factory through the public address system.
But I'm not going to have them listening to soap operas and comedy shows on company time. I'll turn on KFI for the new news. The rest of the time it'll be the classical music station, and they can like it or lump it.
You're a hard man, McGee.
What?
Never mind. By the spring, Gas rationing had loosened up a bit, so now I could afford to drive over to San Gabriel a little more often for one of Dorothy Leland's home-cooked dinners. I met Dorothy when I was investigating the death of Jack Leland, her former husband, who had the job I took over after he was killed. I guess you could say Dottie and I sort of hit it off. I'd give her my red stamps every month so she could buy a little more meat, and she'd grow vegetables in her victory garden. And she had an orange tree in her backyard, so her dinners were always good.
So I decided to keep Jack's car. I don't need the garage space, and maybe I will sell it after the war. Or maybe you'd like to have it. Wouldn't you like to drive a 1936 Bentley drop-head coupe? Jack loves that car more than he did me.
If I had a car like that, I wouldn't be driving it. I'd have me a chauffeur in a black uniform.
Then maybe I'll take driving lessons.
No, you better stick to cooking. And that was another great dinner, Dottie.
Then have some more pie.
I better not. I'm trying to lose weight.
You don't need to lose weight.
Oh, yes, I do.
That wouldn't have anything to do with your trying to enlist, would it? Harry?
Where'd you hear that? You've been talking to Bill Grant.
Don't get mad at me.
Did he tell you that?
Why, sure. We get together and gossip all the time. No. Miss Hasbrook is my rumor pipeline.
Yeah, that figures.
Harry, I know you're not happy working at A1, but you're doing your part in the war effort, and at least you're safe there. And while we're on the subject, I have something to show you. Excuse me, and I'll go get it. And pour us some more coffee, will you? This was Jack's old briefcase. I think he had it in college. And when he was hired at A1, he took it to work with him every day, until he finally bought himself a new one. It looks terrible now. The leather's all cracked, and mice have gotten to it, but I cleaned it off as much as I could. Anyway, I went through the little pockets inside it, and I found these. I don't have any idea if they're important or not, but I thought you might as well have them. They were in this envelope. It wasn't sealed. They're pages out of a 1942 desk calendar.
Yeah. But, what do these letters and numbers mean?
I don't have the slightest idea, but I know that's not Jack's handwriting.
Wonder why he kept them.
The thing is, Jack hated clutter, so he never kept anything that wasn't important. I tend to save everything, but Jack was just the opposite. So I thought that whatever he saved in his briefcase must have meant something to him, at least in 1942.
Groups of numbers and letters. Was he a puzzle fan?
No. I'm the one who liked to do the crosswords. He thought they were a waste of time.
Well, I'll take these with me, if it's all right with you.
Of course. That's why I saved them for you.
Okay. I'll let you know if I get anywhere with them.
Oh, you're not leaving, are you? It's early yet. I thought we could relax and listen to the radio for a while.
Sure, while we do the dishes.
We're not doing the dishes.
You wash, I'll dry.
I've never let you help with the dishes, and I never will.
Oh, come on. I gotta pay for my meal.
You know that's not so. I love cooking for you.
Look, Dorothy,
I mean, I'm sure you must miss home cooking.
Ruby and I worked opposite ends of the clock, and we never got to sit down to a meal together. So I never had that experience. We left notes for each other.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, look, I should get home. I want to see what I can do with these calendar pages.
They may not mean a thing. I just thought, rather than throw them away...
No, you got me curious. I'm going to check them out. Oh, and thanks for the dinner, Dorothy. It was wonderful, as always.
Oh, it's still warm out. Smell the orange blossoms?
Yeah. Well, get some rest. I'll call you.
Good night, Harry. Take care.
I asked the sun and the moon.
You're hearing another chapter of War Comes to Harry Nile.
What's to become of this love of mine?
First thing I did when I got home from Dorothy's was to sit down and take a close look at the pages from the 1942 calendar. The writing was smooth and flowing like they taught in grade school. There were 5 pages: November 6, 13, 20, 27, and December 4th, all consecutive Fridays. There were no names, but there were groups of numbers on each page. One group was repeated on 3 of them, a 3 and a 9. A 3 and a 9. Next morning, I could feel trouble in the air down at A1. I took my usual walk through the plant, but something was wrong. There was no small talk, no joking. Even some of the crew that knew me well kept their eyes on their work, or just nodded as I passed by. I headed back to the front office to quiz Miss Hasbrook, but she was even chillier than usual. And she looked different somehow, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Good morning, Miss Hasbrook.
Mr. Nile,
Everything okay?
do you have a question?
Yeah. Am I nuts, or is there a skunk in the woodpile this morning?
If that's a question, kindly rephrase it in coherent English.
I just wondered what's happening. We get bad news or something? The employees seem a little edgy.
There's someone from the government in with Mr. Grant.
Oh. Are we in trouble?
I expect if Mr. Grant wants us to know, he'll tell us.
Sure he will. I went back into the template area. It was like when I came in, all business and grim faces. There was a vacant stool at one of the layout tables, and I sat down. Hi, how's it going?
Hi, yourself.
What's cooking? Something seems different in the plant this morning.
Well, it might be the radio.
Oh, what was on the radio?
Grant turned it off.
Oh, yeah? Ah, so he did.
And then he walked through the plant with somebody I've never seen before. But he had government written all over him. And he was taking notes on a clipboard.
You're into everything up front. What's the action?
Well, Miss Hasbrook said there's a government guy in with Grant, but she wouldn't say what he's doing here.
Give him a Nazi uniform and he could be Joseph Goebbels. That's who he reminded me of.
Joseph who?
Don't you ever see the newsreels? Hitler's propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels, only taller.
Oh, you know him personally?
Oh, sure. Joe and I used to double date all the time with Hitler and Ava.
I bet I know who he is. He's one of those efficiency experts.
Well, I suppose he could be a quality control inspector. We haven't had one in months. Well, anyway, sit tight, and I'll let you know if I find out anything.
And get Grant to turn the radio back on.
For some reason, I can't get those calendar pages out of my head. I go back to my office and spread the 5 little squares of paper out on my desk. If Jack Leland tucked him away in his briefcase 3 years ago, and the last date was December 5th, 1942, that would have only been a few days before he was killed. Come in. Ah, Miss Hasbrook, what can I do for you?
Have you seen my spectacles? I left them somewhere this morning and I can't remember where.
Ah, that's why you look different. You know, when I saw you earlier this morning, I
Yes, well, if you should find them, I would appreciate it if you would return them to me.
Sure thing. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Thank you.
And just then, Bill Grant came out into the hallway from his office. His tie was loose, and he had, I don't know, kind of wild look in his eyes.
Is there any chance that you're going to find those records today, Miss Hasbrook? Mr. Schofield is waiting.
I've been looking, Mr. Grant, but they're not where I filed them.
How can 3 years of records disappear all at once?
Hey, tell me what to look for, and I'll scout around.
This doesn't concern you, Harry. We'll handle it.
Well, I mean, are they your standard manila folders, or are
As
they...
I said, we'll handle it.
Having some difficulty out here, Mr. Grant?
No, it's all right, Mr. Schofield. Just a minor delay.
Well, maybe it's time we took a little break anyway.
Yes, that's a good idea. Would you like coffee?
Never drink it.
You can bring me some coffee, Miss Hasbrook.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe I've met this fella.
Oh, this is our head of plant security, Harry Nile. Harry, this is Mr. Schofield from the War Production Board in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, security, huh?
We hired Harry after Jack Leland died.
Niles, was it?
Nile. Like the river.
Nile. A rather unusual name. Egyptian?
Italian.
Italian? Doesn't sound Italian.
Well, it used to be Naletti.
A lot of immigrants anglicized their names when they got over here. Made it easier to fit in.
And what brings you out here to A1, Mr. Schofield?
I'm afraid that's classified.
Well, must be important then.
This is no concern of yours, Harry, so we'll excuse you and let you get back to work.
Oh, I was sent to my room. I'd never seen Grant nervous like he was that day. I sat there and studied the calendar pages again, and then I noticed something I hadn't paid any attention to before. On the top of each page was a little indentation. You couldn't see it unless you held the page so the light could strike it at an angle. They were the impression of a paper clip. Each page had them, but they weren't in exactly the same position on all the pages. I knew they hadn't been clipped together. Each page had been clipped to some other sheet of paper. I shoved them back into the envelope and went out to the reception desk again.
Yes?
I was wondering if those files had turned up yet.
No, they haven't.
Well, when did you last see them?
I really don't recall.
Well, maybe if you could tell me what sort of things were in them,
I can't tell you that. They're restricted.
Well, can you tell me what year they're from?
Why would you want to know that?
I just came across some stuff going back to 1942 that Jack Leland stashed in an old briefcase.
What kind of stuff?
Oh, they're pages out of an old desk calendar with some notes written on them. Dorothy Leland found them. I don't know what to do with them.
A desk calendar? Like this one?
Yeah, that's the type. Yeah, he must have thought they were important at the time, but I can't make sense out of them.
Where are they?
In an envelope in my desk.
From what you're saying, they are still company property. I suggest you turn them over to me.
Then do you know what they are?
I don't believe they would concern you.
Yeah, you're probably right. Maybe I ought to give them to Mr. Grant.
You can give them to me, and I'll see he gets them after Mr. Schofield leaves.
Oh, you don't need to bother. I can do that.
Harry, kindly bring them to me.
Well, how are you going to tell what they are if you can't see them without your glasses?
I know what they are.
You do?
Yes, I wrote them. We shouldn't be talking out here. It's too public.
We could go in my office. I don't get any of this.
It's better if you don't. Please give me back my notes.
If these pages are from your desk calendar, how did Leland get a hold of them?
Obviously, he stole them.
Why would the head of plant security steal from you?
What does it matter? Leland is dead and gone.
This isn't just about Leland, is it? Because if he took your notes, all he did was tuck them away in his briefcase, where they've been for 3 years.
Wrong.
What do you mean wrong?
He intended to use them to destroy this company.
What?
But he died before he could do it.
Well, why would he do that?
It's all history now, Harry. It doesn't matter. So stop playing detective and give me back my property.
No. You know, there's a simple way of solving this.
It doesn't need solving.
Let's bring it all out in the open. Bill Grant should be the one who decides what we do with them, and it might be good to do this while Schofield is still here.
Are you out of your mind? I've spent years keeping Bill Grant out of trouble.
Why would he be in trouble over the calendar pages? If those are your notes on these pages, how would they get him in trouble? Hey, you all right? Look, you better sit down.
I'm not feeling well. I need my medication. It's in my purse under the reception desk.
Okay, sure. What do I look for?
Just bring the purse.
Okay, I'll be right back. Oh, this is great, Harry. You browbeat an old woman over 5 lousy pieces of paper. Where's her purse? Here it is. Now, water cooler. Okay. All right, here's your purse.
Thank you.
And here's your water.
Thank you.
You just sit and you relax a while.
No, I can't. There's nobody at the reception desk. A saboteur could walk right in and throw a bomb.
Come on. Just wait till you feel better.
I feel fine now. Yes, my heart is settling down. The nitroglycerin works quickly.
All right, I'll tell you what. You're right. If these were your notes, you ought to have them back. I've got no right to keep them. Wait a minute. Now they're not in the envelope. You took them while I was out of the office getting your pills, didn't you?
What are you saying? I don't have them.
Oh, come on. Didn't you think I'd find out you took them after you sent me out of the office?
Do you want to give me a heart attack?
No.
But I want to know what's so all-fired important about 5 little pieces of paper.
Hey, what the devil's going on in here?
I'm sorry, Mr. Grant. It's just a misunderstanding.
What are you up to, Harry?
Why don't you ask her?
You picked a great time to start a ruckus. Now Schofield thinks there's something underhanded going on in this company.
Well, maybe he's right.
What are you talking about?
Mr. Grant, we have a problem here.
I'm trying to take care of it, Mr. Schofield.
No, I mean in your private bathroom.
What?
Your toilet won't stop flushing and it's overflowing.
Oh, great. What's next?
Couldn't you reach the shutoff valve?
I'm not a plumber, Mr. Nile.
For Pete's sake, I'll go do it. Oh, beautiful. Right there. Now, let's look in the tank and see what's holding the flush valve open. What? Well.
You get it fixed, Harry?
Yeah, I found the problem.
Why the look on your face?
Oh, I was just thinking how pleased Miss Hasbrook will be when you give her back her glasses. You better dry them off first.
Now you have a choice, people. You can tell me the truth here in this office, or I can call the U.S. Marshals and have all of you taken to the federal building and held for interrogation there, which could take several days.
What do you want to know?
I'll get to that, Mr. Nile. 3 years ago, A1 Fabricators won a contract to supply certain sub-assemblies for the Bell P-39 interceptor, known as the Airacobra. The AAF and the RAF found it had its limitations, but it was extremely successful in the VVS, the Soviet Air Force. We sent them over 4,700 P-39s before production ended a year ago when Bell stopped making parts for the plane, but another American company continued to make and send parts to the Russians in violation of U.S. policy.
But aren't the Russians still our allies?
On paper, yes.
Which company was doing this?
Well, don't be disingenuous, Mr. Nile. It was this company, A1 Fabricators.
But as soon as we found out the Russians weren't our buddies anymore, we suspended all shipments to them.
But you continued cashing their checks.
You can't prove that. Check our bank statements. We haven't deposited a dime's worth of Soviet money since the cutoff last August.
No, the company hasn't, but you have. After Miss Hasbrook regained her glasses, she was able to locate the file she'd been keeping on your transactions with the Soviet trading company.
Now you're bluffing. I happen to know you haven't found anything in those files.
Because you destroyed them.
Prove it.
That's why those calendar pages were so important. I used my own form of shorthand to keep track of what was going on. They were the key to the notes in the missing files.
I can't believe it. After all these years, you're a traitor.
Who is the traitor, Mr. Grant?
So Grant actually hid her glasses in his toilet to keep her from finding the files? He must have been desperate.
He was.
And you found them. That makes you a hero.
No. You know who the real hero was? Miss Hasbrook. She had the goods on Grant all along.
Well, now that you're not working for A1 anymore. Just a minute. Hello?
Dorothy, this is Gwen. Turn on the radio. President Truman's going to make a speech.
That was Gwen Scott, my neighbor. She says the president is going to make a speech on the radio. You want to listen?
Sure. Probably the invasion started.
Oh, Lord.
Atomic bomb?
This has been another chapter in the Harry Nile series called War Comes to Harry Nile. This episode, The Missing Pages, was written and directed by Jim French. Larry Albert stars as Harry Nile. Also in our cast were
John Patrick Lowry,
Ellen McLean,
Doug Young,
and yours truly, Jay Green.
wife was murdered, and your evidence cleared him and caught the killer. He thinks highly of your abilities as a detective.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but for the duration, I'm not in the detective business.
Oh, yes, I understand. You're in charge of security for A1 fabricators. But it happens that you may have had an experience some years before that makes you important to the Allied cause.
Me?
Are you familiar with Compton Park?
Yeah, I drive by it every so often. Why?
If you'll meet me in front of the band shell in 10 minutes' time, 6 o'clock, all will be explained. And, Mr. Nile, you'll be alone, of course.
Okay, sure. Only I didn't catch your name. Hello? Hello? Well, how do you like that?
It's June 1st, 1944. The Second World War wears on. America and her allies are fighting the Axis in Europe, Asia, and Africa, while American factory workers are a huge army in themselves, helping to win the war on the home front. For Harry Nile, being the one-man security force for a small sheet metal shop has been his contribution to the war effort. Oh, he buys war bonds and turns in his kitchen fat, waste paper, and tin cans to community drives, and he's an air raid warden. But he is uneasy as a civilian. Many thousands of American men his age are overseas, fighting and dying for their country. But Harry has been classified 4F, the military designation for physically unfit. Now, here is Chapter 3 in our series, War Comes to Harry Nile. This episode is titled D-Day -1.
They don't have band concerts or any other gatherings out here anymore. Big crowds were forbidden since Pearl Harbor when the government thought the West Coast might be attacked. So Compton Park is mostly weeds and dirt now. Kids like it. They come out here to play after school. There's somebody sitting on the edge of the old stage, puffing on a pipe. He stands up as I walk over to him. Tall, thin, dark hair, sharp features. He looks sort of familiar. Not like someone I knew, but more like somebody I'd seen, like in a movie.
Good evening, Mr. Nile. Thank you for coming. Shall we talk?
How about your name first?
Why not just call me Smithers?
Smithers. Okay. Mr. Smithers, I'd like to know how you know anything about me, and I would like to know how you knew I was at Poole's drugstore.
I simply followed you from your job, phoned from a pay booth across the street. Now, first you'll want to examine my credentials.
What's this? MI6?
It's a branch of His Majesty's Secret Service.
Like ROSS, huh?
Very similar. Now, I must tell you a few things before we proceed. You took a loyalty oath when you were hired at A1 Fabricators.
Yeah, so?
You understand that that oath is still in effect?
Well, the oath I took said something about protecting the USA from enemies at home and abroad. It didn't say anything about England.
I believe England and America are still allies, are we not?
Okay, fine. Hey, look, there's something else I'd like to know. Why did the Major recommend me? I didn't think he even liked me.
He said you proved that he couldn't have murdered his wife and her paramour when you showed the police that the driver's seat of the car involved in the murder was left in the full forward position, so that a man as tall as the Major couldn't have driven it. But his wife's maid, a very short woman, could have. Of course, there could have been at least 3 other explanations if the maid hadn't confessed.
How can you say that if you weren't there?
By a simple assessment of the facts. But let us come to the matter at hand. May I call you Harry?
I don't care, sure.
Thank you. Now, think back to your years in Chicago. Does the name Mangini mean anything to you? Vittorio or Victor Mangini?
Yeah, I knew a kid named Victor Mangini in Chicago. Hey, wait a minute. How come you know I'm from Chicago? Oh, yeah. MI6, right.
What can you tell me about him?
Well,